Welcome, Bomber fans. I'm sure you'll enjoy the next 2 hours as Steve Alessio, Joe Misiti and myself relive the all-conquering side of 2000.
2000, what a year. 20 consecutive games where Essendon Footy Club finished 5 games clear on top.
And Lloyd, not a bad season either, mate. 100 goals, won the Coleman medal, and I think I gave him 95 of his goals.
They were laced out too, Joey, but I'll never forget where it all started. 99, the preliminary final, boys, against the Blue Boys. One that we should never have lost. And I remember Sheed's got the whole team. We went to Geppetto's in East Melbourne there, and it was all about feeling the hurt and also getting on that mission for what we need to do in 2000.
Well, it was all about setting it up for 2000, and we're about to give our slant on that 2000 grand final game.
So as I said, Bomber fans, with Joey and Sess and myself, enjoy the next couple of hours of a great side in action, the Essendon 2000 team.
David Neats.
So that's the tails we used that in 2000. Heads, Olympics. Righty. You go, David.
Yep.
Go.
Tails.
Tails is, what is it?
Tails. Yep, we're going this way.
So David Neats wins the toss. So the Bombers go to the left and the Demons to the right. We've been waiting a long time, but once again, the moment has arrived.
Welcome to the MCG. First bounce, here's Barnesy and Jeff White, and doesn't Whitey jump all over him, Sess? Maybe you could have got that first bounce.
Geez, that's, from a ruckman's perspective, 60-metre hit out, that's what you want first game.
I think that's the only hit that he won all day, though. So.
Here he goes, he's back in. He's having a dip, Barnesy, he's getting in there. It was a free kick.
The Demons were in a bit of form coming in. They'd won 10 of their last 11, and big Dean Wallace and Swartz, that was a fair battle through the day as well.
That was one of the main matchups that we discussed. Both Schwartz and Neats were going to be the 2 guys we need to shut down on the day.
They had to get off to a flying start, the D's, to have any sort of shot. And if you kick this, I'm not too sure if he kicks this.
Was
yeah.
Poster?
Bill bad miss this one.
You're the full forward, Lloydie. What would you do in this situation,
I would have gone
mate?
the boomerang, but he tries to go around on that left foot snap.
So step out on the left, and
he's gone. I would have gone. Being a left footer, I could have tried that. But if I was on my other side, I would have gone the old boomerang on my preferred side. But it would have been a dream start for them.
Yeah, hit the post. So he's Fletch. Look how calm. Look, it's the grand final. He still doesn't look like he's nervous at all.
Joey, on to say, amazing how things have changed. Look how long Fletch gets in this instance to kick out from full back.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? Nowadays, you've got to get it in within 3 seconds.
Yeah.
But I remember clearly that Fletch kicked out very, very well that day, and the Demons didn't really have a zone set up as such. They were going a little bit of one-on-one, and we were able to pick holes in them all day.
Yeah, and we had on the kickouts, we had the 2 talls who would be outside 50. So if we couldn't pinpoint a pass inside 50, it was either going to be the ruckman and Sean Wellman, or another tall outside 50.
Did you see that shot of Ramel before? Ramel with hair? That was unbelievable, wasn't it?
and also Travis Johnson on the bench without the beard.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. Travis Johnson, that was in the days where, well, he's still an accumulator of possessions these days, so he was another danger man for us.
And what about this one, Sess? Swartz taking the ruck tap outs?
Yeah, well, that was we knew that was their setup, that Jeff White would ruck centre bounce and then ruck around the ground everywhere apart from the forward line, and David Schwartz, who was probably about 110 kilos, would do all the rucking inside.
And the other thing, Joey, that I got from watching this game, over the last few weeks. I watched it, and just Heffernan and Blumfield and Carousel are 3 underrated players over time.
Yeah, they just managed to. No one really seemed to pick him up. That's probably what we called Cara the Skunk, because we always thought he'd smelt. But very, very underrated players, and because I think we had such a good side there, they were picking up other players in the side, and they got a bit of a free run sometimes.
I think in 2000 that was our strength. We had this group of 24 to 27-year-olds who were match-hardened, professional, 50 to 100 gamers who could win the ball. And there's another one. If you're talking about hard nuts, old Damien Hardwick, look, he's already going to bash in the first quarter.
Yeah. And Solly, he was best on ground in the prelim against Carlton, and geez, he was red hot early in this first quarter.
He had a good grand final as well, Solly.
They were the type of guys. We had, it was Mark Johnson, Jason Johnson, Dean Solomon, Hardwick, who you just didn't want to go near him in the warm-up because you might be on the receiving end of a whack, because they used to fire themselves up that match.
But that's it, Blumfield,
And Heffernan had the job on Woden, and Woden won the Brownlow that year, I'm pretty sure, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah. Going well, aren't I?
Yeah, and there's Carousella, like you see Joe.
What's this, Joey? Talk us through this, mate.
I don't know what he's done here. The sun must have been roaring in his eyes, but I don't know how he can drop that in the goal square.
And what's his reaction after this?
He would be frustrated. Like you said, that first goal's an important one.
It's a chest mark, wasn't it?
That's it. Well, yeah, right in front.
That.
Maybe he had some mates who'd backed 30 for the first goal or something. But here, Nicholson, not sure about his manning up here, going up for the ruck tap out.
Yeah, he was only playing on James Hurd, so he probably don't have to pick it up too close in the forward line.
Yeah. Well, there's the result. Did he get it?
Yeah,
he's kicked it straight through, as he usually does.
He's a bit unsure, but he snuck it through, and their first goal we kicked.
It's amazing too what getting that early goal does for your team's confidence, your own. And now it could have been neats down the other end, but the skipper heard he got it for us.
And good for us. It's your skipper, your leader, but also, like you said, that first goal gets you on your way and you know you're into the game, don't you? So let's have a look. The next bounce, hopefully Barnesy can get his hands on this next one. And there would have been, in the middle, Joe, did you have a quiet word to Barnesy about this next centre bounce?
Yeah, I just said just try and get something on him. Just try and nullify him, because as I see, it was worth a kick the last centre bounce. But just with Jeff White, and I remember Barnes used to say he's probably the hardest bloke to ruck against, because he was such a big man and had such a big leap. It was very, very hard. You have to get your timing right and really get your knee into him.
Saw you in the centre bounce, Joey. Who were you manned up on that day?
A bit of Liancelli and Rigoni. So we were swapping through there, mate. But just different players all day.
Was your mindset a defensive one, or were you going to try, stop them and then work off them? Or how did you approach your game?
Oh no, we were always trying to be attacking. Johnny Barnes had a great year that year, and won most of the hit outs during the year, so we were pretty good, mate.
Thanks for that handball, Joey. Is another one?
Yeah, another one.
Sorry, I missed that one.
So you would have kicked 125 and kept kicking the goal straight.
Now, Lloydie, what about your mindset in terms of full forward? You had who was that on?
I had a different role this day. Thought that Anthony Ingerson was their best defender, and so I was pretty much working him up across the half forward line, and we just felt that others could expose, like Hurdy on Alistair Nicholson, gave him the opportunity to try and expose him. And so Ingerson, really good spoiler. That doesn't get a lot of the footy, but that was my role for the day.
Now that kick out was a real interesting one, because we had our zone set up, and ideally for us that first kick out to the boundary was what we wanted. Yeah, but we allowed them to work it back into the middle. Because
what they were good on that year was they just every time, it was one of their rules we found out later, that every time they had a kick in, they took a mark, there was always play on. They couldn't go back and kick up the man on the mark.
Powley got off to a great start for Melbourne, and it's a fair finish on his non-preferred foot on the right.
Yeah, and in the lead up to the game, I remember he was basically one of the danger men that he'd kicked 4 the previous week against North in the prelim. So he was one guy we need to shut down, but probably hadn't started to us. Kicked the goal in the first quarter for him.
He wasn't playing on me either in the midfield, Seth. He was playing on someone else.
Well, he sort of it's a good finish there, and he was really hard at it. Powell was one of his strengths.
And what a lot of people don't realise, and what this next centre bounce is, the ruck play is almost a game within a game. You got the 2 ruckmen who are going up against each other, and it's a bit of cat and mouse. So we'll see what Barnesy does.
Look at the run up too from Barnesy. How different it is now with the circle.
That's right. Here we go. Bang over the top. Joe, what happened there?
I was the wrong side, mate, wrong side. We're going to Jason Johnson then, but Barnesy still haven't got his timing right at this stage.
Lace out there from two great centre forward to the full forward.
Yeah, they were a big combination. There's not too many sides that have your big full forward, centre forward these days who work so well. It's even the forward structures these days are a lot different.
And this was another huge kick from Neitz. He was a great player for Melbourne. Obviously, captain. He eventually ended up the most goals at the club, most games.
And this is a confidence one for him too. He's missed the first, so for him to get this one, it would be a big boost for his own confidence. So here he goes.
Misses it to the left-hand side, Sess.
Yeah, well, Neitz really should have 2 goals by this stage, and that would have been a goal up. So early misses can really hurt you.
Especially in the grand final, the scoreboard pressure is a real significant thing, and we've seen a lot of grand finals since then where teams haven't been able to put the score on the board, missed goals, and then it's come back to bite them later on.
One of Fletcher's kick-ins there to the tall ruckman, as you said, Sess. That's Barnesy holding that one.
So used to play, a big kick in, and 2 kicks would have got it into our forward 50 nearly.
And that was really important early in the game because you don't want to mess up any possessions or give away any easy possessions early. But here we go. Here he is.
Up by himself again.
Carousel. Has Carousel actually had anyone on him yet in his first game? By himself. So that was his strength.
Well, it's a real turning point. You get Neitz down one end, missing a fairly easy shot on goal, and then we run it down 3-4 possessions later, and Carousel kicks the goal. That's the second possession. Well, Longy will get it, knock it out. Scotty will give it to Carousel. So it was a Fletch kick, another kick, then Carousel. So 3 touches. And the shot on goal was missed by Neitz.
And you can't underestimate those 1%ers. Longy didn't get a possession there. He wasn't. He obviously acknowledged by his teammates, but just the fact that he knocked the ball free was why Carousel got the goal. Here we go back into the
He's not even shot. He's at the front.
He's realised he has to try and out-jump him somehow, so he's got the big run-up.
Well, he gets it here. No, he just misses it.
You got 2 options as a ruckman. You either try to take the opposition ruckman's arm or make as much body contact as you can. And Jeff White, like we said, is a great leaper, so you got to try and nullify him somehow.
This match-up here, Fletch getting held, but Mark Johnson and Farmer. I remember this one. Wally absolutely spewing, playing on Stephen Powell. That's not what you want in a grand final. You kick a second goal on you, and when you couldn't really do much about that one. And did they give it to Mark after this, Joey?
Yeah, they would have. If we were in the same situation, we would have as well. But we'd have to take the game on. That's what we did all year. So Jono was just trying to get it going quickly down the back.
But to Jono's credit, he's the type of guy who's got that temperament where he probably gives as much as he gets, but that wouldn't have worried him too much.
David Neitz had the best handful of jumper you've ever seen, but Mark Johnson took the covering mark. Then the pressure comes in from Farmer. That was a great tackle. And then he turns around and tells him all about it.
2 goals to Stephen Powell in a dream start for the Demons. They lead again. An exciting opening.
Is Barnesy going to win a hit out? I reckon they should bring Alessio on soon.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, I was on the bench and I was chomping at the bit at the moment. I've waited 10 years to play in a grand final and it's still there. I don't know what we're at, probably a 10 or 15 minute mark. So hopefully they'll get me on soon.
And in a way, you forget what the game used to be like. There was really not many rotations. Was there, Sess?
Yeah, back in those days, you actually came off for a proper rest, or you're coming off because you're injured.
Yeah, or you're playing bad. Whereas nowadays, you really, Joey, don't come off just for playing bad.
No, not nowadays. Well, back in those days, you did. That's the only reason you come off. I remember playing nearly every minute of that year because I just sat in the centre all day and that was about it.
It's almost a disincentive these days to get 5 possessions, kick a goal because they'll take you off because you've done too much work. Look at that. There's the Rolls Royce, Mark McCurry.
There's Joey, not happy with the umpire.
No, I was holding the ball, mate. Nowadays, I would have been holding the ball 3 times. But Schwartz was a big one we had to go after because he was one of their big playmakers. And you can see here, Merck's got him. I think Hef came in as well, and I might have tried to tackle him, but probably a bit high. He's probably a bit unlucky.
And that type of stuff from a team point of view, seeing a Mark McCurry tackle the 110-kilo David Schwartz, it just sends a sign that all the guys are switched on.
That was Mark Johnson again there, that willingness to play in front with Farmer. He did a great job and roaming up the wings.
A bit far away from 4-4 there, mate. You lost, aren't you?
How did you kick 109 goals by getting up on the wings?
Just playing the team role, as I always did.
Yeah, right.
You got lost,
Why didn't you ever play the team role when I had to rest in the forward line and leave me in the goal square? Jeez. There you go, Barnesy over the top.
Just runs out of
Just run out a bit.
Missed out of fresh air.
Hef was one of our... The beauty of Hef in 2000 was he was a great link man. Not only could he win possession, but he could play a shutdown role as well. It's fantastic.
sort of now it's it was a really hard, pretty tough opening, I reckon. The tackling and even the pace on the game. Obviously, you see it's a lot more open now, footy, than it used to be. But
we were always aware, weren't we, that Melbourne were going to come very, very hard in the first 10 or 15 minutes. We had to weather the storm, and then, weather the storm we did.
And it's a critical time in any grand final. Any two teams, like two boxers, they go out, they're feeling each other out. They're throwing a few punches, seeing what they can do, and then it's who actually starts putting some good game together.
Carosello again, he had a good start, didn't he? Had a good game.
And this bloke, look at the hands. Jesse Blumfield, like, it's not till you watch a game like that the thoughts come flooding back of some of your teammates. And it's disappointing that he went to Richmond and Hef went to Melbourne, because they were absolute superstars in their time at Essendon. And obviously Blake went to Brisbane, but Jesse Blumfield just floating from his wing and so good above his head.
The key, he was used as a real weapon for us, because he was a midfield and a midfield size and had a great engine and could run, but could mark so well. He'd be a really good mismatch. He used to take his midfield down to the goal square and kick those goals for us. So
he could do everything, Joe. He was very, very fit, and he could jump and he could do most things.
Except kick for goal. Kick straight.
But for that year, for such a late draft pick, we all came together. Myself, Scotty Lucas, the only one that didn't make were Moorcroft, Carousel were all in the one drop. The only bloke that didn't make it was the first pick, and that was Sean Lufat. Sean Lufat was an early draft pick that didn't make it that year.
Young Indigenous rover who was he's actually back up in Northern Territory now. I think he's a policeman. Yeah.
So as I said before, they was just trying to play on in the back 50. I mean, we're aware of that, and that's you noticed during the game that they hardly got it out of their defensive 50 from kicking.
I think I'm just guessing, but I remember one of the things we talked about with Melbourne that year. They were one of the highest sides who used to bring the ball right down the ground for a goal without the opposition touching. From a kicking.
The Demons do the ruck work while White's off, and he might get a free kick against Hurd for hanging on. The advantage is given. Everybody had stopped. Powell comes away, bit of a mongrel kick. Swartz has been in good touch.
Are we going to have the biffo between David Swartz and Wally soon?
Probably starts there. Mate.
You'll see coming up. You'll see coming up shortly. Brad Green playing his first grand final.
Yeah.
And see what Wally dishes out to him in a sec.
Goes after Wally. What's he thinking?
How many weeks would that have got?
I reckon he would have got 4 to 5 weeks once you see this in a sec.
There you go. I think he just had something in his mouth, and Wally was just trying to just brush it away for him.
Mark McCurry dislocated. You reckon it was a dislocated finger coming out?
What's this says?
Here we go. Oh, there you go.
So that's jumper punch.
It was maybe he's just trying to say hello to Brad and just welcome him to a grand final and say good luck. There's Longy, another 1%er,
Joey
protecting.
And there's Carousel. No one.
He hasn't got anyone on him.
The skunk.
He hasn't got anyone on him.
I think it might have been Ward. Remember Ward playing for Melbourne? I think he looks like he was his opponent that day.
Yeah. You got to understand too. In the forward line, we had Hurd, yourself, Lloyd, McCurry, Longy, and Scotty. How do you play on everyone? You know, Jossie and Cara, and that just floated through. And probably worried about the bigger targets more than our smaller to medium players.
It's a good point, that, because I obviously watched Geelong play a lot in my role this year, and I said, a player like Courtney Dempsey will look to pick up the least effective forward. But at Geelong, it's either Varco or Shannon Burns, and it was like us in 2000. It's at your own peril if you don't put time into a carousel type.
Come Barnesy, jump for us.
Here we go. Change his angle slightly, running at him. There we go. He's locked that one down.
Blumfield off his wing, the Joey.
Out in front. What happened there?
How'd you drop that on? Well, that was lace out, wasn't it?
In the back, wasn't it?
I didn't mind playing for him, Seth.
That was a drop mark, Seth. I reckon it was lace out on Lloyd's chest.
Kelly on centre wing, has a bounce, loses it, regains it, wobbles a punt to half forward. Solomon cuts it off. Comes back again in towards the centre.
This is where you get the next goal. You can start to put a bit of a breather in the game, and certainly pushing hard, the boys. There's Jason Johnson, fantastic player.
Onto the left foot, spears it in towards that position now. Collins gets caught.
That's Longy. That was that pressure and keeping inside 50. Scotty would have been disappointed. I think he kicked 4 points or something.
They brought it back. Well, Longy, we've talked about Longy. That's about the third or fourth 1%er that he's done. Probably hasn't had a clean possession yet, but most of them have resulted in a goal. Fantastic.
Oh, you know, with Longy, he's very, very team orientated, and this was probably in the twilight of his career, and he didn't get any slower. He's just fantastic at the pressure, as you said, Seth. He's tackling, he's smothering, and he's just when he does all that, it just creates opportunities for other players.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happens here, but we talked about the scoreboard pressure before, so yeah, it's these type of shots at goal are so important early in the game.
And Longy winning the Norm Smith in '93 too, so 7 or 8 years later, he's back in there playing another grand final.
He pulled that one, Sis.
Yeah, pulled it, and we were pretty keen at the start of the game for him to have another Norm Smith type performance.
Big Jack Elliott there in the crowd.
They looked pretty excited, didn't they?
Yeah. Fixed the boys up in the prelim, 99.
They had the full, so their kickings were.
And this is
good.
And this is the feeling where you start thinking, they're making these elementary mistakes. All of a sudden, things are starting to go our way, even so early in the game. Look at that.
I don't know. You leave McCurry there in the pocket 5 metres by himself.
Do you think the coaches would have been happy with that one? There we go.
The pressure there was fantastic.
There's the umpires trying to sort out a bit of biffo.
People wouldn't have known that. Hef had a bit of the nasty pills about him.
Oh, he did, Hef. Yeah. When he did fire up, he fired up. Young Hef.
Well, that was the one part of his game that I think Sheedy loved about Chris Heffernan, was the fact that he could play a shutdown role, didn't mind the niggle, and was able to get stuck into a bloke when he wanted to.
Juzzy again, just floating through.
Yeah, he certainly played some good football on the day, Jazz, as you said. Yeah, probably might have been one of the better players in the day.
Rammer, was his second year, Rammer? Second year at the club?
Second year,
What about Rammer when he walked into the club? How confident a young man he was.
Oh, yeah.
Hey?
He walked up to me, Sess, and said, "You will not kick 100 goals until you get over your fear of Mickey Martin." I didn't talk to him for the next month.
He said that when he first came
into the club. He denies it to this day, but I had Barry Young chase him around in a practice match one day, trying to fix him up. But he became, his basketball skills made him that cat-like player when the ball hit the deck. Jeez, he was good.
Yeah, Ramo, fantastic player.
Super balanced, he was great.
Very confident too.
There we go. So Dean Wallace and Schwartz taking the ruck. So I reckon Jeff White would have pushed forward hard and Barnsley's gone with him there or something along those lines.
Look at that, just sticking up for each other. Schwartz.
Big Ox running around like a rag doll, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, he was a big boy. And what about him with, 3 recos, 3 knee recos, just being able to still play at the level he did is unbelievable.
Flicked out wide towards Liancelli, or Schwartz had a fresh air shot. Solomon should be able to clear. Penetrating hand passes of beauty to Blumfield. Blumfield through the middle now to the run of Ramanaskas. Go all the way at him.
This is usually his bread and butter, isn't it?
Probably took one 2-minute bounces. Probably should have slotted from about 45, I reckon.
Yeah. Or hit the full forward.
Hit the full forward,
We tried before and kills your lead.
He tried before and he missed it, mate. So he bypassed it.
Yeah.
There we go.
2 very good players in the air. Play well above their height. Really can stop the ball in the air.
So Johnston on Travis Johnston.
We kicked a few points this day.
Yeah, we did. We, peppered the goal, and like I said, we were lucky that it sort of all came together, and then we were able to get over that scoreboard pressure.
That'll be my first overhead mark in my career if I took that. Another point.
Sorry, could you jump over a jam tin, Joe?
Hey, I've got some footage at home, Seth, where I took a mark over Paul Salmon once.
Yeah.
I did too.
What was he doing, lying down on the
Hopefully
ground?
Fish sees this footage.
Jeez.
Brought their Essendon defenders with them, so you've got a lot of players in that zone. 3 more than normal.
Come on, Sid, it's 5 minutes to go. When we're getting smashed in the ruck taps.
Yeah, it's a really, really good point you make, and I think Sheeds knew that I was the secret weapon, so he didn't want to let me on too early, or he just didn't have any faith in me.
I think you've gone for a cappuccino, Seth.
Yeah, I think I might have. Surely they put me on pretty soon. I should be coming on in a sec, shouldn't I?
Well, even your spells down at full forward.
Yeah, well,
Geez, you were dangerous.
With his cat-like agility.
Yeah. And how would you describe the spin on Sess's kicks? Like They would do every time how they'd go through, Sess, but they did everything.
He'd be a good cricketer, I reckon. He'd get him swinging both ways.
Yeah, I know. Well, it's not they don't put the how you scored it. It's just they put the goal up. So.
I enjoyed this one. Watch Wally. He had it over Swartz all day, and watch this. Just a poke in the eye.
Is that what it was?
Every trick in the book, Dean Wallace.
He did. He was basically been at the club for over 10 years by that stage.
Yeah.
So, and he learnt from a few masters. Yeah,
He's got him right, hasn't he? Because he's gone off with the blood rule. Just a sneaky one from Wall.
Yeah. And you'd enjoy that as a player. That you're able to get the better of the encounter, and then the umpire said play on or don't worry about it.
And that rivalry dated back to a long time beforehand.
Yeah, there were a few rivalries in this game that a few guys had a bit of a beef with each other. Yeah. So, and what better stage to play it out on than the grand final day? There we go. So for us, that's heartening to see one of their key forwards go off and have a spell. It's great.
Actually, Brent Gergic replaced him, and a rivalry he had was with the Langster, Dustin Fletcher, and be very interested to watch what comes up here.
What comes up there. Stemming from previous games?
From previous games, yeah. And actually, I think Fletch gets a couple of weeks for a bit of a hit on Gergic later on.
People sometimes don't realise that you remember the ones you cop. Like it might have been 4 games ago, but you still owe that guy one, or he owes you one. So you're always wary of that.
And mate, we're always pretty confident going into the first quarter because we won, I think, 18 of our first quarters played that year. So it wasn't a bad record.
There we go.
What's this, Gergic? I think it's after this one. What's this?
Oh, on top.
A bit of a cheap shot over the top to Langster.
You wanted to sort him out.
Fletch gives him a mouthful, Hardwick, and just a free kick. Not what you want, just out from your goal square.
And it's hard on the grand final day, especially as a young guy. I suppose you want him to go out there and impose your presence, and put a good display on board, but if you got Dean Wallace, Hardwick, and those guys around, you got to have your wits about you. And especially this guy too. He's having a great first quarter, Dean Solomon. But surely it'd be time to change the structure and bring on another ruckman, wouldn't it? Surely.
Are you still there, Cess?
Can we just hush a bit? I kicked my first goal here. Just a real lucky one. Merckx could have been a throw, or was it? But
where's your right foot, Lloyd?
No. As I said with Nita before, you just get to your preferred foot.
So you'd always, even in a pressure situation like that, always go to your preferred side.
Unless it was a little dribbler, like on the right foot, I had no confidence that I could even kick a drop punt from the goal line.
And this is you kicking how many? 9 million goals during your career. You still always defaulted to your preferred.
Yeah, no real confidence on the right side.
Well, it helps when your preferred.
How good was Merckx there, that open hand? How many free kicks would he have given away a year just by throwing the ball out?
He does. I still can't believe it's taken you 25 minutes to kick your first goal in the grand final.
There we go. Did you kick a few in this day?
One in each quarter, Sess.
Yeah? Okay.
So did you kick 3?
That's it.
Kick 3 then.
That'll be about right, Joe.
But I just thought I'd give Barney. Barney played a lot of the anchor, sort of being the decoy. So I thought I'd give him a share of the limelight that day. But Brad Green, first year player, he was did okay in the first quarter.
He was the cricket convert. He was talented player there and decided on AFL, and he had a great start to his career, didn't he? Come on, blaze of glory.
Man United even, he was linked to in his junior days.
Yeah.
What happened there in that centre stoppage, Joe? You're not working back out too
hard. Barnesy again, not winning the tap out, he's killing us.
And that's unfortunately what always happens. If you lose a centre bounce, they always blame it on the ruckman. There's 3 of you guys, the midfielders. Surely you should be able to do
So did
something.
you actually get on in this first quarter, Sess?
I'm starting to ask myself the same question. I'm starting to ask myself. It's 3 minutes to go and I'm still not on. So I don't know. No, I actually get a sneak on at the end.
With the Bombers, it's been an outstanding opening quarter. Barnes just took White's run there. He's a bit lucky. The handball away by Hurd to Blumfield. Blumfield out wide, kicks to centre wing.
Rammer and Uze, good battle there on the wing.
Yeah. 2 talented players. And that was Barnes' strength in 2000. He was, very mobile, would get a lot of ball around the ground.
St Johnson has missed it. It was a
I remember the last hit, Lloyd. I reckon you could have jumped a bit higher and got that one.
Yeah, I just felt the pressure from behind.
Okay, fair enough.
Hoping he'd slam into the back, Joe.
There we go. What do you reckon Neil Danaher is thinking at this stage?
I reckon
of
he'd
the
be
game?
happy with this start.
Yeah.
Happy that we were having kick straight, because if we had kick straight, the game was well and truly been over by now.
Yeah.
Again, I keep going about the kick-outs, boys, but they did better with the kick-outs.
Our zone, you can see everyone shifting over for the zone. 2-on-1. Unfortunately, didn't get the crumb.
They weren't a bad running side, the Demons.
In towards Powell. Powell's already kicked a couple of telling goals. Chips in towards Schwartz. Out he comes. He's in front of Wallace. He takes him to the ground. Wallace is first to recover. Little chip back was dangerous. It was meant for Johnson. But watch out, because the Wizard and Green are both lurking in that vicinity. Jason,
That's silly.
they've given away a couple of very, very costly free kicks in the scoring zone. Michael Long takes it now in the back pocket. Rigoni's having a spell. McDonald is back on. And Michael Long bounced his way out of defence. Sets it up.
Sean Wellman, he was a fantastic link man for us, wasn't he? Off half back.
And you look at sort of the way Geelong also peel off to help out their defenders. Dustin Fletcher, there would have been no probably better player to cut off leads than Sean Wellman.
Yeah. He's a Travis Johnson without a beard.
Yeah.
Young Travis Johnson.
Reckon he should go back to that.
Without a beard?
Yeah.
Looking good. There we go, Shameway Woden. He had a fantastic year. And there's the guys covering again.
You just kicked it then to Longley and Hurdy. It's probably not the best blokes to kick it to, is it? The opposition side.
Geez, a goal here would be handy just before quarter time.
Yeah, it just makes it that much harder, doesn't it? Scotty. So what's happened here? So Scotty's playing high on the day. He's playing around 40 or 50, and you're playing out of the goal square?
Yeah, we've gone back to that now. Once Hurdy's gone into the midfield, and they seem to have made a few changes with Nicholson going to Scotty.
I don't know how you did it all, Lloydie, but Hurdy was just allowed to play anywhere he wanted, so we weren't too sure whether he was in the midfield or whether he came in the centre square, or I don't know what he did down your end in the forline, just did whatever he wanted.
I must admit, Sheeds did give you the licence to do what you like, which was good in a sense, because we had so many talented players. He just let us play the game.
Yeah, and and that helps from a player perspective. You know that the coach is going to back you in.
And they grab from big wall.
There's Wally with the confidence up early and taking some good marks.
And didn't he get his confidence? 100 games. It took him 10 years.
Yeah.
And then he blossom late in his career.
And probably a little side story here was John Barnes and Wally were great mates and really looking forward to playing
what happened
together.
Then? The wind really shot up quickly then and just blew it across.
And Scotty didn't want to give that.
He didn't. I've been yelling at him for about 5 minutes, but should have kicked that one. Yeah. 4 goals, 8 now. It's we could have really shot ourselves.
Here we go. They've waited till 34 seconds left in the quarter before they bring on the secret weapon. Geez, things must be going real well. Yeah. There we go. I don't even think I could do a run on.
Do you want to hurry up, Seth? Because it's only quarter time.
Here we go.
I reckon Danny Frawley was 34 seconds left in a state game. They said, "You're on, Danny." He said, "Don't worry about it." Never played for Victoria again after that.
Is that right? There we go, Rema. He started well, Rema. Justin Blumfield, Solomon and Caracella. Still hasn't got anyone on him.
Only seconds remaining. The clock might beat them. He needs a mark for Hurd. He won't get it in time.
Not a bad start, boys. The kicking wasn't too good. 4 goals, 8 to 3 goals, 3. But it wasn't a bad start.
Being on the bench at the start of the game, obviously was planned during the week, so you knew what to expect. But being on the bench for about 20-odd minutes or so, I think it was later on in the quarter, and then coming on, is frustrating because you geared up like the warm-up, you're psyching yourself up. I'm a pretty relaxed guy most of the time, but in the grand final, it's what you're there for, and you're primed, ready to go. And then to sit on the bench for that long, it's a challenge to come on. But once it went on, you're chomping at the bit and you just want to get into it.
I think, and Melbourne were never going to get near us. This is what I was saying in the papers. But we knew they were in some great form, and there was a lot of people there, a lot of non-supporters, non-Essendon supporters and non-Melbourne supporters go to grand final. and I think they were the ones that were barracking against us. We had such a great year, and they wanted to see the underdog, who was Melbourne this year, to cause a major upset.
So the Demons to the left now, and the Bombers to the right, the main scoreboard end. Brad Green went down the race at quarter time. The Melbourne rookie, youngest player playing today. There's Hurd. Simmons talking to Neil Danaher.
Yeah, Bruce, I've just checked with the doctors. Look, he's still in the rooms at the moment. The doctors are certainly looking at his collarbone. Maybe it happened in that first quarter with him and Wallace. So we'll let you know what happens there.
So Green down in the rooms as we start.
Here we go.
You were back to the bench, were you, sir? Yeah. Or did you start forward?
He would have been pretty tired. He had a big
No, yeah, I know, I was a bit. They needed someone to cut the oranges at quarter time, so yeah, I had the expertise there. Don't worry, you'll see soon. I'll get into the game. Fingers crossed.
Back turn, Ward's low handball was very effective to Collins at half back. The handball inboard to Leoncelli. Arches his back as he so often does, and then kicks to half forward waywardly.
There's Dustin unusually dropping a mark.
Yeah.
Have a look. This was a great matchup all day in terms of just you'd say so far, Dean Wallace probably had it, although Dave Schwartz had done some good work around the packs and all that. So
we just saw Darren Buick on the bench there too. That's another guy who probably hasn't played the whole first quarter. Geez, he was unbelievable coming off the interchange bench.
That's a role he mastered here. I think Sheed said to him, this is probably going to be last year. We're going to play off the bench all year, and that's before all the rotations become fashionable. But he was fantastic with his pace and his skill and his goal sense.
I think from an Essendon coaching point of view, to be able to still have a fresh ruckman to go in the ruck and play around the ground, but also then a fast, speedy midfielder, goal-kicking type, still had they didn't have to put on, still gave them a lot of options.
Yeah,
hey, there we go. So, pretty keen to get into the game at this stage. When you can imagine sitting on the bench for the first quarter. So, looking forward to getting stuck into it. Trying to, if I could catch someone, it would have been even better. Here we go. Solly and Joey hunting the ball. That was one of our strengths, I think, in 2000. We used to really hunt the ball in packs. There was always 2 or 3 at every contest.
Just saw Merckx there, Joey. Hasn't been seen a lot since footy's finished, but I'm sure he's enjoying the reunion and the night. But how would you sum up him? I'll never forget that year he had in '99.
Oh, he was a fantastic footballer. I've played with him since under 14 days at Killer Park, but he was just a marvel. I still remember Hurdy saying he's the best player he's played with. And as you mentioned, the '99 season was unbelievable. I remember the first final, I think we played against the Swans in '99, and I think he only played a half a footy and still got best on ground. It was a freakish afternoon for him.
Mark McCurry second in the Brownlow in '99, is that right?
He was too, yeah.
Second in the Brownlow, so he was a fantastic player.
Alessio there with Nicholson. Nicholson just gets it wide to Misiti. Couldn't break the tackle. Ward's kick along the line. Gains about 20 metres, I guess. Another boundary throw in. They're scrapping pretty well, the Demons, at the moment, aren't they?
It's a stalemate at the moment, isn't it?
11 points, the margin.
This is where Carousel is dangerous.
Outpoint Nicholson, the ruckcess? No. Still warming up.
Still warming up. They're getting into it there. But I'll tell you who we needed to quiet down was Shane Wayne, who at this stage had already had nearly 10 touches to the game. So midfield, Joe, do you talk about that in the midfield, about who's...
Joey has not had an opponent all day.
I'd never played an opponent, mate. I used to wait for him to come to me.
Is that how you went about your midfield?
It depends. I used to try and get a gauge on it earlier, mate. And as I said, I think I was playing Leoncelli and Rigoni, and they weren't really wreaking too much havoc, mate. So I tend to have a bit of a licence and just lay off them a little bit, mate.
There we go. Just that switch. Always a Blumfield, Carousella, Heffernan.
Yeah, well, the good thing this year, because as Seth just touched on, we always had 2 or 3 in the contest, and the majority of the time we know we're going to win the contest. We had a few blokes ducking out a little bit early, and that's why you see a lot of our boys out by themselves, because they actually knew we were going to win the contest.
Now, James Hurd, he was always he was a great snap for goal, kick for goal. Could have been a little bit unreliable, could he?
Yeah, he had that double-handed ball drop, but he'd kick a goal when it mattered, like he did there, and what a weapon it was to send him forward. Great pair of hands for his size. You couldn't really have a tall guy on him because of his movement off the mark, agility. But then they try smaller types and they'd struggle as well. But I think one of our strengths that year was we had a fair few guys kick over 20 goals.
Yeah, I'm with Hurdy too, where everyone sees his brilliance, but his competitiveness and his willingness to win a contest is, I've never seen it greater than anyone else.
Yeah,
we'll win with Cess. I reckon we'll win this one.
He was super strong too, Hurdy. Not many people realise how strong
skinny
he
arms.
was.
He looked. Yeah, I dropped that. That was my fault.
Powell's had a fair.
He's had a fair start.
And he was a hard nut too, wasn't he, Steve Powell?
And that was a free kick for the hold on Farmer, but they went at it all day. Just did not let up. Yeah, but he was. We've seen Stephen Milne just kick his 400th goal in 2010, but people compare him up against Jeff Farmer as arguably sort of Phil Matera, some of the better small forwards over time.
Well, I think this year, didn't he? He kicked 70 or 80 goals as a small forward, I'm pretty sure. It was some large number, so he's a very, very dangerous player. And to this stage of the game, he hasn't, I don't think he's had a shot on goal.
Well, he was known as the Wiz, and he was a fantastic player.
And Joey's spot on, he kicked mid-70s that season.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny how now, they're sort of a bit of a rarity back then, the gun small forward, whereas the way the game's move these days is we've got a lot more gun small forwards. Nearly every team has a minimum of one or two.
Geez, the game's tight too, still only 11 points in it. And as we said, we were often, the game was over by half-time most of the season 2000. We'd put a huge gap between teams, but this was the one team coming into the finals who were finding so much form, and as you said there, Farmer 73rd goal, most ever by an Indigenous player.
Here we go. Hurdy doing the ruck there.
So that's one of the times Hurdy just waltzed in and said, "One of you blokes get out, please. I'm having a turn in the centre area."
Costly turnover, picked up by Heffernan and a high ball. They're inside 50, they're towards Lucas territory. Lloyd.
You've gone a full forward, Sess.
Yes.
Yep, both
first touch.
There you go. Both Barnesy and I used to try rotate out of the middle and up forward. So, and that would be to try to create a mismatch in the opposition backline, which used to work pretty well for us. But actually, Melbourne matched up pretty well because they had Troy Simmons who could go back and play in the ruck, and also Jeff White.
They got a bit of a run on here, didn't they? They just brought it through the centre, which they hadn't been able to do, and but just a turnover in the full 50 killed them.
Wallace is called to play on. He's got Hurd out wide.
It's at using that switch again to James Hurd. And
I would have played that, Seth.
I would have paid it too. Jeez. Yep.
Or
there's a throw,
Scotty
Lloyd.
Lucas. Scotty, what's that? 3 points. He's a dead eye. He's a dead eye, Scotty, but just didn't happen for him. Played well, but just didn't kick the goals on that day.
Twice as many scoring shots, and we're only 2 goals in front.
Yeah, 5-9 to 4-3, I think it was, and then so this is where the pressure starts building up. You're starting to miss a few goals, and all of a sudden, geez, we've got to get a bit of scoreboard pressure up and going.
Joey's highlighted the kick-ins that.
They haven't been very good, have they, mate?
That was one of the areas that really worked for us on the day, that pressure.
For Barnes or Alessio, big flyers. Lucas clever but misses.
That was one of the tactics we used during the year, is if there wasn't anything on, go to the hot spot. So we all knew that where the ball was going, we'd all congregate there, and and that was the result. You'd have, if someone didn't take the mark, there was at least 2 or 3 crumbing.
He had space to throw it quickly onto the right boot, but he didn't.
Kick 3 behinds, Lucas.
Once again, the one before was an easier shot, but a lot of these...
Locking him down with the zone again.
Good direction, Sess. The way you're waving your hands around is unbelievable.
Oh, yeah. well, being in the last line of a zone, you can see the whole zone, so it's actually your responsibility.
Joey.
There we go.
Can just sense the game, although it's still 13 points, can sense it's starting to take its toll on Melbourne. I think the pressure we were putting on them, and you just sense the game was about to turn.
Yep.
Just panic kicks like that.
And that was part of the backman coming up, having the wall right through.
Carousel got in your way there, mate.
Contest. Yeah.
What about the hands?
Fantastic.
I know the Melbourne supporters were going off there thinking that Hurdy's ball was out of bounds.
Was out of bounds, yeah. The old Wayne Harms, was that one of those ones where it was just over the line? So
we were due for that one. We peppered the goals for so long, and that's Wellman, as you said, setting up that zone we did, getting at the ball to ground, and was it out of bounds, Joey?
Yeah, she was out, mate.
Yeah. And then just Carousella's timing, we often have a bit of fun with him, but just knew the positions where to run.
Well, just in the previous contest, Sess had bowled him over and he just got straight back on his feet and managed to get the handball off Merckx, I think it was.
Yeah, he was a master at finding space and having time, Blake Carousella.
I think Big Rowdy's getting a little bit nervous now. We've got a few in a row and not too sure what his next move is.
The floodgates haven't opened, but the Bombers are really turning up the heat. Johnson.
What percentage would you have had great above his height, Merckx, but in the ruck tap-outs? Yes, would you have compared to Barnesy?
Oh, in terms of ruck time?
Time, yeah.
Yeah. Usually during the year, the way 2000 worked out is that Barnesy we'd work at about 10 minutes at the start of the quarter. I'd come on for maybe 7 or 8. Then Barnesy do the last 7 or 8 minutes, and I'd be resting in the forward line. So overall, probably worked out to maybe 60-40 during the year. Probably a little bit more in this game, where I was playing up forward.
To White, comes back inboard to McDonald. This has been the pattern of the play when they've been.
There we go, Powell again. He was dangerous, and he was dangerous on this day as well. And there's another long kick.
I think I can remember swirly. There's obviously a lot of misses, but there's plenty of it was a swirly breeze on that day.
There you go, Jay. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's out.
The whole ball, that's the rule. The whole ball was out.
Ball's out.
Fletcher's long kick-ins, and look at that from Blumfield.
Josie will kick it in nearly forward 50 now. It's been two possessions, and we're next possession's a shot goal.
Scotty Lucas going up. Joe, just able to just get the ball where you want. How many possessions did you have on the day?
Sess. I was in the back pocket about 55 seconds ago. My hard running to the forward 50 got me that ball, mate.
Joe, you'd remember how many on the day?
I think I had 26 or 27, mate. Yeah,
it's not a bad output.
And this shot where Scotty's having, I'll never forget, Joey, your shot in 93.
Well, I was a lot closer to the crowd, Lloyd, in 93. That's probably straight in front for Scotty. Yeah, but I was actually started outside the boundary, three-quarter time.
Three-quarter time on the boundary.
I see the little red dot. I was other side of the boundary, mate.
No, you kicked it. What would have been going through your mind
back then, mate? I was just, I was actually going to just go to the top of the square, but lined her up and I said, right at the last minute, I changed my mind and said, I'll have a go at this. And the timing was impeccable, mate, and she went straight through, goalpost height. Scotty's kicked 5 points. I didn't even realise he kicked so many points.
Yeah.
So if we lost, we're going to blame Scotty, will we? Hey?
Yeah, here's the zone again. You can see the full back, undecided, having to go long, which really played into our hands. And that's exactly what you want, kicking to a contest so we could get the ball back. And that's exactly what you want, kicking to your ruckman who's spelling up forward and being able to kick goal.
Telling people to settle down.
By that stage, I was, what was I, 2000? I was about, 28 or whatever it was. I had to take the role of settling down the team. And
a lot of advice for you, Sess. What are these boys saying? I heard he was saying something too, then Johnny's run over.
Well, everyone's got their strengths. Mine wasn't football. I was giving advice to the other guys. No, it was... So there you go, there you have it. Look, 38 metres out. I was still a bit rusty. I hadn't had much,
still warming up,
many possessions at the moment. So and it was a little bit swirly here. So
you're not setting up that they kicked in the spin well. Let's just see how the ball comes off the boot, Sess.
Yeah, sweet. Well,
did you think did the wind swing?
It was sweet if we were having a competition if I could hit the point post on the full. So it certainly didn't make a good connection with that, which is pretty disappointing. As we said before, you want to, when you get the opportunities, you want to kick them.
Dick Reynolds there, one of the legends of the footy club.
Yeah.
Just saying, don't give it to the big fellas anymore. Kick it to the blokes and kick the ball properly through the big sticks.
18 scoring shots to 8 now, so. You just see that you've sort of used the momentum. I'll never forget that grand final, North Melbourne v Adelaide, and North just missing those shots and Adelaide coming out after half time and winning a grand final. But we were a far superior side. But we really wanted to start, putting a few extra ones on the board before half-time.
And it got to a stage it was almost, the cracks in the dam had appeared. It was a chance to, if we started to get a few goals on one after each other, it's gonna happen for us.
Mercs.
There we go.
Front and square.
And all of a sudden, before half time, you can start to see that the momentum's building. So, fantastic.
That's one of Merck's strengths, wasn't it? Just the front and square, knew where the ball was going to go.
I don't think I ever saw Mark McCurry behind in a contest during his career. He had great hands, he was super fast, super agile, but he would never be like in a one-on-one contest behind. So if the kick wasn't a good one, he'd always get the one that was falling short, and he was fantastic for that.
And one of the strength of our side too, how good Merck's was above his head. We've got Hurdy,
Justin Blumfield,
and also Merck's, 3 smalls that were so good above their head.
Good players, talls, yeah. There you go. We're starting to wrestle back the centre bounce clearances now.
Oh, we just said to Barnes, he just he won't know how to kick for a while then, so I thought I'd just give him one. As I said before, just chop his arms just to try and nullify White's hit outs.
And to this point in time, I think we would have been pretty happy that both David Schwartz and David Meats hadn't had a big influence on the game, and certainly those two were going to be their game breakers if they were going to do something. Big kick this.
Turn out to be pretty ugly, I'd reckon.
Just has to kick it, doesn't he?
And generally, he was a nice kick for goal, David Meats. Nice.
Really important one. Captain's goal.
Yep, splits the middle there and just gets it back within 20 points.
To keep it interesting. And what were you thinking? You probably you're up at full forward, Lloydie, at this stage, and the ball sort of been a few goals, but hadn't been involved too much.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts?
I suppose I was just trying to work Ingerson, and so much so, I must admit, early in my career, a lot of it was about goals, and even at this point in the season, it probably was. But once it came to this day, I had just had a role that Sheeds needed me to carry out, and at the end of the day, things worked out well for me. But it was just so many other guys were on top of their opponents, and Ingerson was very tight on myself in that game. So sort of worked my way into it as the game went on.
And there's Dustin. He was reliable, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He'd always make a contest, always get a boot or a hand in. Fantastic.
Good tackle there from Joey.
Yeah, didn't tackle that often, mate, but it was first one of the game, I think, mate. But you saw both. I think myself and was it Jason Johnson both sort of grabbed him. It's, in the middle of the ground, if they do get a quick kick, it's into the 450, and it's a chance for a kick a goal. So it's very important to win this ball in the middle.
And Sean Wellman, pretty reliable, wasn't he? Off half back.
Every backman we had, you see in today's footy, a lot of backmen struggle in the one-on-one, but they contest, but they get protection due to zones. But you look at Mark Johnson, Hardwick, Solomon, Fletcher, Wallace, and Wellman, and they were so good in the one-on-one contest, and you had to be in the footy back then because you were often left one-on-one.
And was Sean Wellman All-Australian this year, 2000?
He was.
Yeah.
And one of the strengths that year too was the fact that we managed to keep our back six together for most of the year. So those guys knew how each other played, basically the ins and outs of how they went about it. So it was fantastic for us.
Lee Matthews, he would have been plotting his season where they beat Essendon in the grand final, the Lions, the next year.
Yeah, no doubt.
But they ran it pretty well through the corridor. Melbourne, good running side. Johnson had great skills, Travis Johnson.
And that was obviously one of the team rules or tactics for the days. It was because they were such a good running side, Melbourne, that we knew our pressure had to be super high, so they couldn't get the easy ball out and get the flow on going. It worked really well for us in the end. Very important contests these, the boundary throw-ins close to goal. How you man up, and Joey, I can see you're trying to fill the space.
Yeah, just trying to get the way there, mate.
There you go. Get it. Ooh, nearly got it straight away.
a lot of the tactics then was just to try and drop it in front of their ruckman. If it was in there attacking 15, if you get on the burst, it's going to be pretty hard to stop. So I like to just sit in the hole just to try and quite just so I was a bit of a wicket keeper, just try and get the balls that go through to the keeper.
But contrary to what many people think, sometimes you don't have to man up. If you've got 20 guys around the ball, then why go in and be number 21 around 20 guys? You can just drop off and fill space and be more effective. Starting to get a bit heated here. You can tell the intensity's lifted a bit. There you go, look at the pace. Have you ever seen electrifying pace like that?
Unbelievable, you're scorched.
Yeah, no, it's good. Like about as fast as treacle it was. I reckon, so.
We see the lighter Troy Simmons test. I'm expecting you to monster him here in this boundary throwing. Let's see what happens.
He was a super athlete, Troy, and I ended up being ruck coach for Richmond a couple of years after I finished. So, but he was a fantastic athlete, and then he obviously put on a few kilos of muscle.
That's 4-6 weeks in football nowadays, isn't it?
They look after the head a lot better these days, don't they?
See, Jason's dazed, and we called him the bull. Jason Johnson, how hard he was, just head over the ball. Yeah, you're right, Joe. That's what we've taken out of the game now. But, no doubt Jason will be back up. Geez, he was so courageous.
Yeah, he was that courageous, probably to his own detriment, wasn't he? He knocked himself out a lot of times during his career. So,
see, small blokes are spoiling you, Sess. There's Barnard.
There we go. See the pressure that's in there. Justin Blumfield. He was a good goal kicker too, didn't he? He used to kick a few goals. He was one of those guys who I think kicked more than 20 for us in that year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And he wasn't bad on his left foot. And we just saw Charlie Italia, one of the trainers. He loved Jason Johnson.
He was, he used to make sure he was one of his boys.
Oh, Joey, the throw?
Yeah, that was a throw.
Was that a throw, Joe?
Oh, vicious
Paul
throw.
Barnard.
Paul Barnard, first of his, no, so he still,
Joe,
first of his four, no. So Joe, that was a throw, definitely a throw?
Well, I just knew which side the umpire was of me, Sess. I knew he was behind me, so I could just throw it out any which way, mate.
No, you're joking, mate. You wouldn't have known that.
No, you knew where they were most of the time, mate. You got to make sure you're aware where they are. No, I was about to get tackled, mate, and I had to get it out as quick as I could.
There we go. Geez, we've done well with the kickouts, haven't we? We've been able to, that zone has been able to lock them down.
Off.
There you are again, Joe.
To that hot spot, Sess.
Right there.
Wasn't bad, Mark. Was that Ingerson? Really courageous.
And that was a really good, it was a good get-out kick for it. If you're in the midfield or just outside 50, just pump it into the hot spot, and it meant you either get a crumb or a contest. Worked really, really well for us during the year.
See, Rigoni came back from a back injury and been a really good player in this season. And Hardwick giving away a free kick there, and he's not happy about it. But they made you earn your kicks this defence.
Yeah, they did, and you'd always get one to go on with.
Was Dimmer the bloke with the most white line fever you played with? Off the field, he was mild-mannered, a banker in previous years, and once he crossed the white line, he was just a bit of a psychopath.
Yeah, Damien Hardwick, he was, you're right, Dimmer Damien Hardwick, he was the guy who, and I'll tell you why he had white line fever. He was, like I said, he was meek and mild, but his wife used to make him do the vacuuming before the game, and he'd come to the game fuming, and he'd get on there and then just want to belt every guy. But no, he was good value, Dimmer, and I reckon he's going to instill those same values into the Richmond, the team he's coaching now.
Was he allowed on?
Lloyd, what are you doing, mate? That's the back line, mate.
No, Joe, you're looking for a cheapie. I hadn't been in the game for a while.
And that's back in the day where you didn't go upfield. The full forward stayed still within 15.
No,
you're still in the back line.
I know this is a stat. I might look like I'm blowing up my own tyres, but had the most kicks in the season, just ahead of Joe Misiti that year.
Did you?
Joey obviously handballed a million times too.
Yeah.
But for some reason, she's just let me. I just roam up the ground. This is Barnard. Started a bit of a purple patch for himself.
It's amazing how a grand final there's that utility player who has a big one on the day. It's almost as if the two teams do all their preparation during the week on the major matchups, and maybe forget that utility player who
Shane Allen.
Shane Allen, those guys who don't have the
well, Longy again,
breakout years.
Longy just put the spoiler on the marking contest and back onto it and
just that
flicked it out and away we go.
That comb over just flowing in the wind.
Paul Barnard, well, certainly, the magnificent game and 4 goals for us in the end. Really broke it open.
What was it, Paul Barnard, about him? He came from Hawthorn as a bit of a defender, but then he ended up, I know he felt like he just had to chase Hurdy's man for most of the time, but he was a very solid player, wasn't he?
Sheeds had the philosophy of starting most guys in defence and wanted them to develop defensively first, and then basically Barney then went through the midfield and then up forward. And Sheeds loves that type of play. He used to love the Jonos and Barney, anyone who had the bit of mongrel, and I think that's what he loved Hef for, was to see him there, and obviously Wally and that type of guy. So I think that element of Paul Barnard's game was very attractive to Kevin Sheedy.
I think our other strength, Joe, was you look at Premiership teams and they have that strong senior core, and then really our younger players were really strong players. Obviously Rammer was a wingman, but you look at our youngest blokes in the team were Solly and Jason Johnson, Mark Johnson.
I think we just had a great mix, Lloyd, where we, as you said, had the older players, Wally, Boris in the middle. We had a great middle tier. That's 23 to 26, 27, 28. They'd played footy together for 5 or 6 years, and I think that's really helps you to become a great team.
And let's not forget the quality blokes who actually didn't end up playing on the day. Mark Bolton, Peter Berbakoff, Sean Denham, Dean Rioli, Jonathan Robin, Mark Fraser, those guys. So there's some quality players who obviously would get a game, and a lot of other teams who missed out.
Yeah, this was Sean Denham's last season, and he played his last game, I think, around round 2021, and Joey was emotional that last session before the grand final, cheering Sean Denham off the track.
Yeah, well, he announced his retirement, and he had one last training session. He was ready, fit to go. The only way he could probably get a game is if someone injured himself during the week, but he was a great man to play alongside Shawnee Denham. Talk about a little tough man, but he was unboppled.
What happened there,
that was
Lloydie?
just the
That was a fresh airy.
That was a bit of the explosive pace I had.
Yeah, that was quick, mate.
Yeah, just working my opponent up the ground. And
Did you get a foot on it? No, it looked like you get a fresh airy.
I got an early touch and then tried to get the second one over the line. Just made it.
Oh, yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Nico's, and just shielded him off the ball.
Yeah, that's fair enough. So that was speed and strength on the upper half there.
Yeah.
But that was actually a tactic of the forward line, work your defender up the ground and then work back really hard and get the jump on him.
Well, the best at it in today's footy are Steve Johnson, Nick Revolt, continually working their opponents. Even Stephen Milne, the way he's playing now, you work him up the field and hopefully the ball goes over the back. And see Barnesy there, you can see his tactic now. Joey's clearance in the hands, but just hitting the arms. Joey, plenty of clearances, and that was another one. Hurd 1 minute, myself now, Michael Long, you were there. We just kept throwing it round, and you just couldn't hold every player down in the.
He's had enough, that Melbourne supporter.
I think you could see what was coming, this guy, for the game. But no, it's a really good point you make in terms of our rotations through, our ability to change the matchups in the forward line throughout these contests really helped us. Here we go, Longy.
That was a shank. Yeah, if any golfers out there, that was a definite shank. That's probably the worst kick of his career, Longy.
You could just see Longy, he'd much prefer it taking on 3 blokes through the midfield, balking 2 others and then having a snapshot.
That's the closest anyone's got to carousel then, was John Quinn, our fitness guru, sorry.
And there was, you just saw flash onto the ground Darren Buick, who probably making his first appearance in the grand final. So a dangerous small forward who good to have in there.
And just on John Quinn, he got to the club as our fitness advisor at the end of 90.
Fitness guru, Lloyd.
I think, for the start of the 99 season. And he thought he'd come from the athletics background. And to be honest, I thought he was as big a pickup as any player you could have. I thought he got us fitter than any team in the competition. And we were tough, we were hard. But John Quinn, he was amazing for our playing group. He was a motivator as well.
Yeah, and I think that was his strength, that he could, obviously he was a great fitness coordinator, trainer, head high performance guy, but also he understood team and he understood team culture, and that motivation was a big part of it too. So anyone can go out and just tell you to run around and do what you need to do, but then how to bring it all together in terms of what it means to your football is another aspect, and he certainly was good at that. Dean Wallace.
And he was probably the biggest benefactor of John Quinn's fitness regime, wasn't he, Wally? He just said you weren't an endurance athlete, you were more of a power athlete, and just did a lot of 100 metre, 150 metre sprints with him, and that rejuvenated Wally's career.
It was basically, we were basically one of the first teams at the time to go from probably endurance-based training to power-based training, where once John Quinn came along, I don't think we ever ran more than 3Ks at a time.
Yeah,
I think Princes Park was it. That was the longest run you ever did throughout all our training, throughout the pre-season, the whole year. And it was all about 150 metre sprints, repeated speed and power training, which benefited a lot of our guys.
Yeah, the red rocket.
Here he goes. Handball over the top. Barney, number 2.
And that's where you look at yourself, making an impact. Then you see Darren Buick and Paul Barnard. That's the impact they made off the bench, and you saw the excitement, how important it was just to get that 40-point gap, which has turned into a big quarter for us, considering how many we've missed.
Probably only last 7 or 8 minutes where we've really got on top, isn't it? Really kicked 3 or 4 quick goals, and that's just good night Irene.
And these are guys like Boris. He was on the bench with myself, and Paul Barnard started there as well. So guys off the bench having an impact.
Has Moorcroft still yet to get a run? He might be. Haven't seen him.
No.
So he was the other bench player.
Farmer's jumper was ripped off his back by Dean Wallace.
This will suit the Bombers perfectly, getting into his head like that. If he's distracted and wants to get on with the physical stuff, they'll be happy with that.
Put a gap in them, haven't they? Demons have...
See Barnesy just run then and just look at his arm then. If you notice that, he just sits there, doesn't look at where he's going to run, just looks at Jeff White's arm. So all he's going to do is hit the arm.
And look at Barnesy steaming forward. You probably didn't see him at the bottom of the screen. He would have, if we would have won possessions, he probably would have been out in his own. And he was very mobile.
That's a rule now, Joey, that obviously you can't do that. It's amazing how the game has changed. We've said it a few times, and this is the big hit. This was ugly. Obviously, Longy, some people, he's going what for, but back then, I suppose 10 years ago, it was a big hit, but in today's, so you get 7 or 8 weeks. I come in here looking at the 84, 85 days.
Flexing your muscle there, Lloyd.
And this is probably the result. It's a lot of tension.
Heard he got a $2,000 fine for being body slammed that day. He was the only one that challenged. Wally popped
his finger after he whacked someone, probably.
Yeah, it was certainly a turning point, and in grand finals, everything's on the line, and all the guys, having a crack at each other. But just before that previous contest, Troy Simmons was playing basically full back or centre half back on me, and we'd both gone up for the contest, and here we go. And I was just left of screen there, just left of screen. When Longy made that impact, it was like 2 planks of wood being whacked together. Like I didn't see it, I just heard it because I was still getting up off the ground. Here we go, we're contesting. And it was like 2 planks of wood. I was getting up, bang. And then I just saw Troy Simmons, the eyes were rolling into the back of the head, and he'd been knocked out.
It wasn't pretty to watch, and Longy probably wouldn't be too happy about it nowadays, but as you said before, ahead of the battle, you don't realise he's just going for the ball. He's trying to do everything he can to make sure Essendon Football Club win the flag, and not good to see Simmons on the ground like that, but Longy just did what he had to do for the club.
I finished my last game in my career, something similar, and some people are asking why, but in the spur of the moment, you just you're looking to go to a contest and you look to hip and shoulder, and sometimes it can go wrong. And as Joey said, you hate seeing players injured like that. But look at Wally, he's
popped his finger, just grab it. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Pop, back in. There you go. Give it a bit more of a massage. 1, 2, 3. It doesn't come out. 1, 2. Get in there.
And believe you me, says that she hurts doing that.
There we go. Shake it off. Off you go. So, it's certainly part of the game. You've got to be able to deal with pain and live with pain. Yeah.
Just going back on Lloyd, as you said, when you finished your last game and then the situation with Longy, it's you've only got a split second. A lot of people don't realise how quick the game is, and you know, you're just trying to get the footy or you're trying to make some contact. Split second decision, it can look bad sometimes.
And it's easy, like when it's out in the ground, in normal motion, full motion, and when you put it in slow motion, it does look pretty bad. But yeah, as you said, you don't have much time to think, and basically you're G'd up, you're going 100 miles an hour, the adrenaline's going, and you're just trying to make the most of the contest.
I think Longy got, was it 3 weeks? 3 or 4 weeks for that.
Yeah, I think you got a couple for it, yep.
That incident, but that put them one man down also for the day. And you saw Hurdy, what often happens when you get an injury like that, you come in together as a group.
It's a break in play, there's a bit of time, so now Melbourne just adjusting, so they've sent David Schwartz down to play, just to fill in the role, play on me for a little bit, just to until they get their matchups right. But you're right, Lloydie. There's a lot of downtime, and it's probably the next contest, the next piece of play after a hip and shoulder or a break in play that's so important. So I can't actually remember what the next piece of play is. Do you remember?
No, I don't remember the next bit of play, but I remember going in with that 40-point lead. So there's obviously no scoring left. Look at the cast of thousands.
Have a look at the quality of the coach. Mark Harvey, Fremantle coach. Dean Bailey at the back, Melbourne coach.
And Robert Shaw was also there at that time, who was very much the brainchild of the opposition, Joey, wasn't he? He'd put together how we'd break them down each week.
As an analyst for the opposition side, he was he's second to none, and probably before his time, where he just knew the ins and outs of every club we played. He'd go watch them for 2 or 3 weeks before we'd actually play them, and give us the 45-page dossier about their strengths, weaknesses, and what we had to do to beat them. And you know, as seen with this year, most times he was spot on the money.
And I think the key to Robert Shaw was not only did he do the analysis, but he'd come up with a solution. So he'd do the analysis, break it down, then let us know what we had to do. So here's that next piece of play, very important, while they're looking around, knowing that the contact might be coming. So here it is.
Because you can go into your shell and you're just wondering who's going to be the team to get on the aggressive for the right manner, and that's to put their head over the footy. And Wally's a thumping kick he was, and getting that ball inside 50, and as you said, Schwartz went back to be loose man in defence.
Yep, just steady the ship a bit there. And it's so important, this next goal, if it you can't let them score within the next, say, 10 or 20 seconds, because what happens is the momentum can change, the momentum shift during the game. So for us to be able to really do something significant here is important. And there you go, it's a free kick. So obviously that would have been, some contact.
Bit of payback for Longy, maybe trying.
Payback.
A lot of people don't realise how good Longy was. I remember playing in '93, many moons ago, but his final series that year was, I don't think I've seen a better one. Just his pace and his awareness, he was an unbelievable player.
What year did Longy have his knee reconstruction? Was that?
I think it might have been in '94 or '95. It wasn't too long after.
He's fought back pretty well, and still, obviously, didn't have the explosive speed, but he still caused plenty of havoc. So 4 seconds left, another one of those kick-ins where they just couldn't get it out. So I remember going in at half-time, Mark Johnson, he was ranting and raving, wasn't happy with all the points that we'd missed, but you would have taken a 40-point lead at half-time in a grand final.
Oh, no doubt.
Rallying his troops.
The culmination of the year had started the year before with the loss of the 99 prelim against Carlton. Certainly from that point of view, that was the catalyst of everything. And there was a number of meetings that came out of that. We were forced to watch the grand final the following year as a group, and that really galvanised us. And by the time 2000 pre-season come along, there was a steely determination amongst the group. During the year, that determination had grown into supreme confidence, and the way we approached each game, it was with that super confidence. And we knew that no matter what position we were in during a game, that we could work our way out of it. We would back each other up, support each other. You know, we had a few injuries during the year, which wasn't an issue because we were working so well together that any game, any challenge that was thrown at us, we were going to overcome because of 99 and what happened there.
The year 2000, from round one, I think we won by about 10 goals. I think that was our first game at Telstra Dome then, Etihad Stadium, and pretty much we were winning games by half time. Got to late in the season, we had a few hiccups, losing that one game to the Bulldogs, but it was pretty much like we exploded once the finals came around. Like that's what we were waiting for. We were 4 games clear on top of the ladder. So Joey, we came in at half time, a 40-point lead. We did miss some shots, but can you remember the message from the coaching staff at half time?
I was more so, as we do when we walk in at half time, was more the players just saying, come boys, we've got 60 minutes of football to go this year to win the ultimate prize. So we knew exactly what we're doing. We're pretty happy with the way we were playing. As I said, just an hour to go to win a premiership.
And Sess, can you recall much? You know, we had the big incident just before half time with Michael Long. Just how the mood changed, how you felt at half time, where the game was going?
Yeah, we were definitely happy with our first half to be 41 points up. I think we settled well after that incident and we still controlled the ball, controlled the game. And then coming out in the second half, we knew that basically Melbourne were 2 players short, Troy Simmons and Brad Green, who'd gone off with an injury. So definitely the second half was one that we wanted to really take control of early in the third quarter.
All right, so we're one half away from a premiership. Let's go to the second half.
What can the Demons do here to stop the onslaught? They need a very positive start. White jumps hard and gets over the top.
Maybe the Blumfield, who would have started in the centre bounce in the first quarter?
I think we had Heft starting off. It was me and Jason and Johnny, but Heft was in there in the first half playing on Woden, and Blumfield came in and touch ball. Everyone thought it was a mark to Neats.
There's 2 hard nuts between Hardwick and Johnson. There we go. And then the other Johnson.
Yeah.
Geez, they used to love a biffo, didn't they?
It wasn't, and that's what we had. That, you know, us 3, we didn't have to enter into that. We had these guys who could do it, but you just see that Blake Carousel, a quick touch, really affected. Would have been good for Neats to get a goal early in that third quarter, but just having players that did that really attached a bit of a fear factor for our team. I reckon that other teams really worried about.
Yeah, I suppose then it was the next great team of the next 3 or 4 years, Brisbane Lions, who had a very similar way of going about their football as well, with their hard nuts in the back line.
The goal early on, that's what Melbourne had to kick an early goal, or else they wouldn't get near us. They had perfect start for the Demons, and yeah.
We were pretty confident on the day that we could match them. We matched up pretty well, and that all we had to do was keep doing the things that we wanted to in terms of tackling hard, keep to our structures. That even though if they came, because we knew they were going to come at us, that we'd be able to hold them off for the second half.
Look at Mark; he's still going. Got him in, and one thing for Mark was he hasn't been beaten in any one-on-one battles. It was just a few free kicks from head-high tackles and things like that. So he beat the small forwards most of the year.
No doubt he was telling him how soft the free kick it was. I've got no doubt about that. Still telling him.
There we go.
Well, why Jono's doing this? Well, Farmer's not interested in getting the ball, is he? So it's a bit of a tactic he used.
Joey, the sweeping roll there at the back.
And that's part of the structures we were talking about, making sure that we all played our role and what we needed to do. You'd see our intensity, our tackling was relentless, especially early on.
I think we knew, Sess, that the first 10 or 15 minutes of this quarter we could nearly win the game, being nearly 7 goals up. So we had to get another 2 or 3 in front, and the game was nearly over.
Back in that hot spot. There's Fletch doing what he does so well. He's cleaning up.
See, that was a free kick previous, and Farmer's brought him down.
It was all to do with, I think, Jono getting in his face, wasn't he?
Yeah.
A bit frustrated.
There we go.
He's heard he always working hard to that far side. Always had someone out there, we did.
He always got to those. Sorry, so he always got to those contests because of how super fit he was. I think people realise how fit he was, but he was always used to win the races at pre-season training. He was a bit of an aerobic machine.
You could see now our structures really coming into play, being able to settle on the ball, pick out our targets, pick out our teammates, and really working hard to make that happen.
Longy.
So long is unbelievable, isn't it?
Cess.
Have a look at that. You don't see that skill in
Unbelievable it was.
But you must have enjoyed kicking a goal on grand final day.
Oh, certainly. You want to, if you're playing up forward, you want to be part of the goal mix, and it's always good when you get one over the back there. And just lucky, didn't miss it.
3 blokes out onto one bloke. It's unbelievable, isn't it?
It's just
and a little tap.
1%er doesn't get recognised, but it's certainly very important.
Unselfish too. Solomon centering up, and we just saw handballs from guys that could have had a shot, but gave it off. But did you kick 20 plus that year as well, Sess?
Yeah, I think I kicked up there 26, 27 goals. So for me, that was my role. I was only there to kick 1 or 2 goals a game and rest up forward, but then create a matchup, a hard matchup for the opposition. So if I didn't float forward, then it meant Alistair Nixon played on yourself or Scotty Lucas. So it meant that we could really stretch their back line.
White courageously, Robertson belts it forward, Hardwick and Fletcher. Fletcher's got plenty of time, sweeps the handball wide.
I remember there were some games where Fletch would have maybe 5 or 6 goals kicked on him, just by his full forward. But he never changed. His demeanour never changed. He still attacked the ball the way he attacked it, approached the game the way he approached it, and I think he's probably got the best personality he could have for a full back. Yeah. Nothing fazed him.
Hard to believe he's still playing the footy he is 10 years down the track.
Exactly.
And that was Barnard. It's another guy getting a match-up, Joey. It's just hard to know who should play on who.
Oh, that's right. And I think Phoebe was one of their good rebounders, so he probably was told to go to our 5th or 6th best forward line player. And in this case, it was a very, very hot Paul Barnard.
You could see...
Longy wasn't sponsored by Bonds then, Sess, was he?
Longy lives in his shorts there in the tackle, but you could see a few of the older guys, Michael Long, Dean Wallace, those guys understanding the importance of having a good start to the second half and coming out and playing some really red-hot football.
We'd double their score by this stage, and this is pretty much when you're not sort of getting too confident that you're home, but it's just probably from their point of view, we'd start to think, geez, we're not going to win this one now.
We're a long way back, So this is where, as a team, your confidence starts building. You start, you're running into spots, maybe perhaps playing a little bit loose, taking a few more liberties, and then and hoping that they'll pay off for you.
28 scoring shots to 11, so we've been far the more dominant side, and it's pleased there for Barney because, as I said, he's been a real team man, and it's good to see him getting the benefits in this grand final.
Good tap by Jeff White there. It was a bad bounce and good communication between him and his centreman, but ever reliable. Sean Wellman, fantastic. And there's our structures again. Guys staying in the midfield, leading out wide, getting ball, and then working it around the boundary into the forward line.
It hurt his 4th opposition player. I think Gerg is having a go at him now.
There's always another tap.
Always in front.
There's that hotspot again, Seth. Again.
Longy competing, just had a contest, competing again. And Solomon, great contest, handball on.
Well, Longy didn't touch the ball, did he? But it's probably only his goal, wasn't it?
Definitely. He made the contest down on the wing and then worked back hard to stop Jeff White from getting an easy ball in the middle. So he was a marvel on the day.
You see how it started from Wellman across half back, that switch kick, and it was like the way we trained. It was a real training drill, and just the weight of numbers just overpowered them, and you can just see the floodgates really started to open up around this period.
What's Neil Danaher thinking there? What can I do?
Well, we just got to try something, but he didn't. Being 2 blokes short in the bench didn't help him. But
that probably really restricted him from being able to throw the team around and get a structure. We always remember, back in 84, 85, where where Sheeds was able to throw Paul Weston up forward from down back and that. But if you're 2 players down, you're pretty much restricted from a structure point of view.
And he's just got to take risks, take the game on. That was another one there that in today's footy,
it would have been dropping the ball, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So, called play on. And that's just Heffernan. That's through his whole career, even towards the end when he wasn't finding as much of the football, he was always a very good tackler.
He was a fantastic tackler, wasn't he? Yeah, he was.
He's probably dropping the ball every other week, isn't he?
Yeah. He'd go down low, pin the arms, and let his body weight take his opposition player down.
So that was a trick we'd try a fair bit during the year with Juzzy Blumfield would be third man up and try and get it to either myself or Jason Johnson or Hef. But you see that a lot now in footy nowadays, where they use the 2 big ruckmen just rest on the ground and someone jumps over the top. Yeah,
so we'd coordinate that before the contest and give Justin Blumfield, because he had a great leap, give him the wink, and then basically it was just the ruckman's responsibility to hold the other ruckman down while he jumped over the top. Wade, big kick up forward. Unusual Fletch didn't get a fist in there, but Neitz, you could see he was trying hard to lift his side.
Oh, he's such a strong man, David Neitz, and that's the best kick going forward, where you get your full-back turning his head, and you watch David Neitz push back hard on the Fletch and arms out in front. He's been a champion, he was, for a long time, but it was a good duel all day this time.
Yeah, that 2-on-1. Jono had lost his foot there, so so basically they were in the prime spot to kick that.
And that year was probably Fletcher's best year. Won the BNF and All Australian. He did a fantastic year that year, Fletch.
Could you have predicted back then? You're probably not thinking about it back then, that he'd be able to sort of play as long as he has, like in terms of did he ever get injured? Or
I knew he would, because he never got too many soft tissue injuries. The only injury he had was got the broken bones here and there, but he was his longevity has been unbelievable, and I think it's due to his he's a little bit laconic, we could say, a bit big lanky, but he's probably going to play another 2 years, I'd say, the way he's going.
What many people don't realise is Dustin Fletcher's 6'5". He'd be nearly 100 kilos, high 90s in the kilos. But he's at that stage, he was probably the 2nd or 3rd fastest guy in the team.
Pretty sure he still is now, over that 20-metre sprint. He's still very, very quick.
For a full back, it's essential. So, yeah. And he hasn't lost it. He's fantastic. Stephen Powell, still, he fought hard all day, didn't he?
Yeah.
It was a hard nut for him. Really fought hard.
The late Ron Evans is there in the crowd. He's watching the football.
Yeah. Former chairman of the Essendon Footy, president of the Essendon Footy Club. And his son now, president of the Essendon Footy Club, David.
Well, you can see he was in some pretty heavy track. He evaded 1, 2, 3, and I think the 3rd or 4th quarter.
So what was that free kick for, Joe?
Just dropping the ball, holding the ball, wasn't it?
I thought he received it there, but
no, yes, he dropping the ball.
Yeah.
And this is probably the last hurrah of the Demons, just trying to ruffle some feathers. There's Hef again, angry man.
Hef, great to see him flying back from New York. He's lived in New York for the last few years, working, so good to see him back in Australia, getting married, and also back here to celebrate the big night of 10-year reunion.
It's good that he's made the effort, mate. It's a long way to come, but it'd be great to see Hef. Haven't seen him for a couple of years, so it'd be great to see all the boys there.
Solly.
That's Dean Solomon to a T. He had a thirst for the hard contest, didn't he, Solly? A lot of times it got him into trouble, getting reported, but he was certainly one of our key guys across half-back. So a pretty important time for us not to lose concentration and not to let Melbourne get a couple of goals in a row. Keep the pressure up.
What was this free kick for, Joey?
No, well, the ruckman, I think it was White, just ran into Barnesy a little bit too early and just impeded his run.
And Lloyd out in front, providing a contest.
Good spoiler, Ingerson. One thing he did too, Anthony Ingerson, was he loved talking. I was one didn't like talking to my
opposition,
especially on grand final day. And he'll be like, "So what's on for after the season?" And he soon got the hint I wasn't interested in talking to him.
Through heavy traffic, comes back towards centre wing, chopped off by Solomon. Been very good. Can go towards Barnes on the outer side or even further, and elects to go further, finding Barnard.
Paul Barnard, geez, he had to come on into the first quarter. Has had a big impact on the game.
And that's that switch kick there that was one of our strengths, and so much more one-on-one football then, and that's where put a lot of teams under pressure. That's where Longy was getting held off the ball. Look, he's always looking to block for someone, and then that's a free kick all day long, and well spotted by the umpire.
It's a soft free kick, but the defender didn't need to do it, did he? You can't grab the jump when the ball's not in the vicinity.
And that's a product now of the pressure we've put on them during the game. It's continual, and the guys start to make mistakes that they wouldn't normally make.
And as I remember, this one was Longy pulled this kick from the similar spot, but made amends there and split the middle, and you saw the strut there, Longy.
Certainly happy about that.
That was his first goal after kicking 3 points previously.
Yeah, we sort of always had the answers there from halfway through the second quarter. And that's just a player being nervous around Michael Long, holding like that.
And he was probably playing that role that we see a lot these days as that defensive forward. So in there, because he was such a good tackler and such a good creator with his taps and his hands, that he was in there, keeping that pressure up on the Melbourne defence. And as you can see, Melbourne bench.
Brad Green off with a broken jaw, was it? From the Dean Wallace hit?
No, I'm not too sure, mate.
I think it was in his throat. I think he had an injury to his throat, like a cracked voice box or something like that.
Wally may have had something to do with that.
Yeah, so I think it was in a bit of a tangle there. So
a lot of people talk about a great attacking game, but you also got to remember too that Collingwood was the only team that kicked more than 100 points against us through the whole year. So our defence was the cornerstone of our great side.
And I think if you look at history, most grand final teams, Premiership teams, it's all built, off a great defence. So it was certainly something we had at the forefront of our minds.
So many players around the ball. White gets a hand on, lays it down to Travis Johnson, up and under, gets the ball to centre.
Who was the premier ruckman in the competition around that time? Would Jeff White have been at his peak around 2000?
Yeah, certainly. He was the ruck role changed a bit throughout the sort of mid to late 90s, where you had your bigger, what I call your dinosaur rucksmen, like Scott Wind and Damien Monkhurst and Justin Madden, Sean Wren, himself I'd probably classify as a dinosaur. Then to guys like Jeff White and Corey McKernan became more mobile, and basically then personally I had to strip about 5 or 6 kilos just to continue to play the ruck role in the game then, and not be thrown out of the game because I wasn't mobile enough. But Russell Robertson, geez, he was named for that. Have a look at this one.
Yeah.
Now, Joe, I want to ask you this question. Did you ever take a screamer during your career?
No.
Because we know you can't jump over a gent. Did you ever take a screamer?
You know what I used to do, Seth, when we used to get the big bags out in training track, I still couldn't even jump over a bag to take a hanger when it was actually on someone's back. So
and they were trying to give you a lift as well.
I wasn't a very good jumper, mate. No, you can say that.
Very good. Now, Lloydie, you've taken a number of those speckers during your career. Which one was your favourite, the one you got most joy out of?
It was actually towards the end of my career, Steve. I was struggling for form and I was being under a bit of pressure. Should I be playing? Should I be retiring? And that sort of thing. And it actually was against Melbourne in 09, actually 08, and I got Mark of the Year for it. over the top of a few players. And
what about that feeling? Which Joe obviously doesn't know about. Yeah, when you're on the bloke's back and you get the ride.
I'm often asked, what's better, taking a screamer or kicking that winning goal? And I've always said that big specky is
get the ride.
Yeah, get the ride. But remember Stephen King was the All-Australian ruckman in 2000, the dominant ruckman that year.
Yeah, and Stephen King, he was. What he was really good at was basically he was a good accumulator of the ball. So he was actually the big dinosaur type of ruckman who was 110 kilos, but was mobile and could still get a lot of ball around. So there was a lot of good ones during that time. Russell Robertson
missed his last shot on goal, Robbo.
Great to see him back. Now here's Robertson, touched off the boot. Wobbly old punt kick, and again they're going to clear it. It'll come back towards Blumfield. He smashes towards it in opposition to Robertson, gives it away to Fletcher. He pokes it up towards centre wing. Barnard used the body.
Jeez, he's been influenced. It was in there.
You see the staff too. We spoke to Charlie Italia. So many of the staff, as players, you haven't got that long in the game, and it soon comes to an end. But see Bruce Connor, the physio, still going. Paul Lou.
Yeah.
The doctors, Bruce Reid, obviously Ian Reynolds just finished up, Joey, but they were a huge part of it as well, weren't they?
Oh, well, a lot of people forget that support staff are very, very important. They've got to get us on the track and help us with our recovery and our injuries and looking after us. But I think the support staff that stay at Essendon so long is because they're all such great people. They're here because they love the footy club, but we get along with them famously, and they're great people and great fun to be around.
And that would have been, I think, part of the reasons for our continued success right throughout the 90s. We only missed the finals, I think, twice throughout the 90s. Yeah. And part of that was the stability we had as a club and the strong culture we had. And a lot of the cultures, a lot of it's got to do with these people, the trainers and that, who volunteer their time and are part of the club.
What I forgot was John Kilby. What year would Killer have got to the club there?
I think it was 1903. John Kilby coming there. He's been around a long time, Killer, and he's they're the people you love to know, or around a club, and make a club that special place.
See there, Joey, they'd had more inside 50s this quarter, but it's still been able to make the gap a little wider.
Yeah, they couldn't capitalise, could they? That surprised me, but they just couldn't capitalise, mate. You've got to kick goals once you get it in, don't you? I think that's due to our defence too, mate. It didn't matter if you got it in, you still had to get it past our last line of defence in Fletch and Wally and Mark Jono and that. So
nice slap from across the chops there, Joe.
Yeah, I was a pretty mean player, mate. So that's about the meanest thing I ever did.
David Schwartz still battling away, putting up a...
So they got, where do you go here? Farmer just shot at them, but you had Barnesy sitting back and Fletch sitting back without a man, so pretty hard. Doesn't matter how many times you go in, but you still got to get past those two boys.
Held them pretty well. The fence there, three weapons with Schwartz, Neitz and Jeff Farmer, and Russell Robertson was just sort of coming into his prime there, but the boys held him pretty well, as we did for most of the year.
David Schwartz swinging around on the right. It's a fair kick, that. Great goal too. Oh, hit the post. Are you serious?
It would have been a good goal if they hit the post.
There we go. I reckon it was Fletch, actually. Did he shake the post there? He used to do that a couple of times.
He's been reported for, I think, just about everything you can be, Fletch, and that was including shaking the post.
Yeah. There we go. There's that structure again, out wide, switch kick inside. Another one, a Blake Carousella, no one on him. Fantastic. And great defensive pressure on Michael Long. Lloyd
on the right, just centred it.
You told us you never kick it on the right. Oh, because you're centering the ball?
You just sent it to the boundary umpire.
There we go.
Yeah.
Now, this stage of the game, Lloydie, what are you thinking? Are you thinking it's 100 to 55? Are you feeling more comfortable about where the day's going?
I was just thinking that, I was young and probably wasn't appreciative enough of the day, and maybe thinking there'd be another opportunity. And we did get to the grand final in 01, but probably should have been. I was very intense and probably should have enjoyed this stage a bit more. But you always think, with 5 minutes, still another quarter to go as well, that there's a slight chance. And it's probably not till the middle of the next quarter that you start thinking to yourself, geez, we're home.
Yeah, it's amazing. You can be 10 goals up, but until you actually right near the end and you know definitely you're going to win the game, do you sort of let up on the pressure and intensity?
Because they keep coming Melbourne, and as I said, they were by far and away the second best team in it that year. Just they came home with a bit of a rush.
They're in some good form coming into the grand final, so you can never let up. You just don't know what could happen. 31 shots to 16 though, it probably should be a fair bit in front.
Fletcher takes the kick out. He goes to the outer side. Carousella is alone. Sneaks clear and stabs it up towards centre wing, and Barnard having plenty of the ball.
That's that kick. We use the ball so well, and that's another coast to coast, Joey.
No one touched it. Don't worry about that kick. I didn't see that Melbourne player, that's why I kicked it there.
First time I've seen Gary Moorcroft on too, so he obviously didn't get a lot of game time, but he was a fantastic junior player and played some great football there. So.
And that's we're lucky that we can bring on a Moorcroft at this stage of the game and have that freshness through the legs and provide a bit of run. Melbourne, obviously a bit hamstrung. They've got Green and Simmons who are out, so they're down already too. Another one of their hard-running playmakers in Cameron Bruce didn't play the game at all, so they were down on run and then down within the game with the two players as well. So it made it pretty hard for them.
What do you think of his hairdo, Joe?
It was pretty ordinary, wasn't it, mate?
Yeah.
I actually saw him probably not too long ago, and he actually grown it out a bit, mate. He got rid of the flat top, which was... he's a reservoir boy, mate, so he's probably as fashion reservoir, mate. But I still remember the big hanger he took against the Bulldogs this year. That's a big... I was front and square, ready to get the crumb, and all of a sudden, saw this little munchkin nearly hit the roof at Telstra Dome, mate. It was an unbelievable mark.
Well, he was renowned for that, wasn't he? He had a great leap on him, but that'll probably be the mark that he's remembered for.
Well, it would have nearly, it was a demise him, I think, after that. He hurt his hip pretty badly when he came down and couldn't really get back on the park after that.
Yeah, not a lot of people know that. Like, he won the mark of the year for that, effort, and then when he landed, I think he actually cracked his hip. So he actually didn't find out till 6 months later.
Saw a trip there too from Moorcroft. He had all the tricks as well, Gary.
Oh, he loved it.
Fresh legs on the ground. Carousella caught at the bottom of the pack and up by Hayden Kennedy. Will come in for a bounce.
And that was, I think that was one of the beauties of our side in 2000, that we had such a good blend of different players. You had your hard runners, your guys with exquisite skill, two big forwards. We had, ruckman. We could, who they could interchange. We had strong backline, which you've talked about. It was a really good blend.
And that's a great hit there from Johnny Barnes. He was a huge pickup for us. His first season back at the club, and Darren Buick was one of the better finishers, Joey, that has played the game.
Oh yeah, Boris was unbelievable. His skills, both right and left foot, and just knew how to kick a goal. And just touching on the Johnny Barnes one, I probably saw it more firsthand because he gave me a lot of my centre clearances that year. But his time, you got to remember, Johnny Barnes is probably only maybe 6'4" tops, but his leap and his timing and his footy smarts gave us midfielders a bit of an armchair ride.
When we talk about Moorcroft, what he'll be remembered for, that's basically the lasting image of Darren Buick, is that goal sneak, running onto the ball, being able to kick goals from the boundary, and he was a fantastic goal kicker for us.
Wins the tap. Started the game spectacularly. Woden's kicked to half forward. Leoncelli underneath.
Once again, the back line. Dean Solomon didn't realise what a great runner he was in this period as well. He even at his time at Fremantle, he obviously covered the lines pretty well, but his pace off half back, and that was just another one centering the ball from Gary Moorcroft to myself. You just knew what your teammates were going to do because as you said earlier, I think only 30 players, was it? Got
31.
a run. 31 for the
31
year.
players played during 2000.
So we had so many good players that couldn't really get a run. Dean Rioli, Mark Bolton, Mark McVeigh was on the list at that stage. Sean Denham, Rodbrin was another time, and we were really predictable to each other.
And it gives, just if you've got that strong structure, I think you see it in Geelong now. They play a predictable brand of football to each other, and I think it just gives you that half a second in front. So you always look like you're a bit quicker, a bit faster, and always ahead of the game.
Talk us through the grass throw, Lloyd, can you? Just give us an
what's
insight.
going on there?
I know it's routine, but
I'm a very superstitious man, Joe, and
that was a
it was one
point.
of the
That was a point.
Anyway, sorry.
that's where you just clap and you act like try and trick the goal umpire.
Do you reckon it's ever worked for you, trying to trick the goal?
Did once. With a
Good goal a couple of weeks ago. And this great team is putting a space in the Demons now.
Well, Bruce, I think that's one of the keys as we get closer to the end of this game, and it's hard to see Melbourne really doing anything from here. Is it going to be called the greatest team of all time? 21.
I reckon at Bendigo or Ballarat as a kid, kicked 5 points and didn't know which way to kick. Second half went with the grass throw and kicked all right, and then it got in my head there that Mark Harvey could never dress, by the way, look at baggy his pants up, but I just had a superstition that I had to stick with it. I had so many people say you got to get rid of it, but I couldn't help myself. And
It's a routine, mate. You've got to set your routine,
yeah.
and don't break, don't fix it, mate.
So he going in long. You saw we had numbers always at the front of the packs there.
Wrong way, Lottie.
Yeah, I know, just saw the skunk.
Has he still got anyone on him?
No one again.
No one.
Time. Blake Carousella drifting into the pocket. He wanted Michael Long, perhaps a touch ambitious. It was a very, very tight angle.
And you were pretty happy with, I remember going in at three-quarter time, pretty happy with this quarter just to be able to extend it, extend the lead and pretty much snuff out any chance that they've got.
They're still fighting hard, Bell, aren't they? They're still running hard, trying to create.
But just look at that, like Fletcher and Hardwick toying there. We just had the answers, and that's just a great kick from Fletcher, looking to go long and then just seeing a pass. And Johnny Barnes had as good a skills a ruckman that I ever saw.
And this is where being so far up at this point of the game, we can actually slow the game down and control the game. As you can see, Mark McCurry quite content to pass it back to Johnny Barnes. Work the clock down, three-quarter time. Let's not concede another goal.
I think we're pretty happy going into three-quarter time of a grand final, 10 goals up, and just the last 30 minutes to play for.
And that was something that we started, was that chipping, running down the clock. It's something that has come in a lot over the last 10 years. Teams will use it, and something that we pretty much started around this period.
Tucked close to the line. Keeps it in play before it is smashed towards Farmer.
See Hardwick and Wellman there in the back line of Wallace. Three of them have gone on to become assistant and senior coaches at football teams.
And there's also Terry Danaher then, who coach, and Mark Harvey, fantastic, now senior coach. So it's funny when you have a successful team for a period of time, a successful culture. It does lend itself to the people at that club to go on and do other great things.
The floodgates will well and truly open.
Joey, the greatest deficit anyone's come back from in a grand final is 28 points. Can you remember the feeling at three-quarter time?
Oh, well, obviously one of immense confidence, Lloydie. We were 10 goals up in the grand final. Sheed just run out, still very, very serious. But we still have 30 minutes to go. It's probably not going to happen. We're going to get beaten. But it was time to just enjoy ourselves in the last quarter and really soak it in.
Sess, I'm looking forward to getting into the last quarter. What are some of your memories or your favourite memory?
Well, I know, and typically you don't do this during a game, but because we were so far up, it actually afforded me the opportunity to actually enjoy the game because you knew basically you couldn't lose it. And I reckon with about 5 minutes to go or 10 minutes to go, Darren Buick and I shared a great moment where we just knew we'd won and we went out and just chased the kick and had a good time.
Let's go to the last quarter.
The Bombers surely home here. An insurmountable...
Sess, you weren't giving us centre bounce on this day?
Well, this is the last quarter here. No, I think the fact that I was causing so much havoc up forward, they didn't want to get me off. No, purely Barnesy was doing a great job in the ruck, and why change when the structures are right?
Sort of class and Mercury there. Very hard man to tackle.
But it's dried up a bit for him. Comes wide. Travis Johnston kicks to centre.
You see Dean Wallace there. Sess, Sheedy described him after this grand final. Can you remember what he said about him?
Yeah, I remember Sheeds saying that Dean Wallace was one of the most respected players at Essendon Footy Club, and it was true. He as you said before, played for 10 years and only 100 games, riddled with injury, but was always committed to getting himself right and was a great team man, and that's why he had the respect of everyone. Is David Neate still seeing out the game, still competing hard?
What do you do as a Melbourne player? You're 10 goals down in the grand final. You know you're not going to win. What are you doing in the last quarter?
You just got to have a crack, I suppose, Joe. Like you, suppose the last thing they'd want is, I remember them being flogged by Hawthorn by over 100 points in the grand final. Just try and get it as competitive as you can, and even for your own pride. Just do the best you can, but not much is going right for them now. David Neate's marked well this day, but has sort of sprayed most of them.
He didn't want to kick straight, did he?
Throws himself sideways to the limit, and that's a mighty dive and a mighty catch from David Neates. Barnes doing the ruck work.
The intensity's still there in terms of our tackling, and there's Mark Mercury as a half forward helping out down back as well. So. Really great effort. The guys still working, even though it's the last quarter, still working hard up the ground to support each other.
We did it a fair bit, didn't we, Sess? The half forwards, they play as high half forwards and push down and help our defence out. Then as soon as we knew we were going to win the ball or look like we were in the ball, all of a sudden we'd explode in 3 or 4 numbers.
And this is 10 years ago, before we sort of had the game the way it's played now, where there's a flow of players in the back half, like you'll see centre bounces or bouncers in the back half where there's 40 odd players in one half of the ground and no one up the forward line. So it predates that a little bit, but still there was guys back then who used to work hard both ends of the ground.
Just in this game, how good the team was at the tap-ons and knock-ons. Just everyone, I suppose that's just, as I said earlier, knowing each other. But Michael Long, seen Barnesy a few times, just the quick hands of Joey and Merckx and those type of players, just what set us apart. You can see the guys on the bench there, John Quinn, starting to enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, Joe, you and I had a spell at the 3/4 time.
Just a little rest, mate, just to say hello to you and see how you're going. And
yeah.
Just you get ready to enjoy it. That was good, Lloyd. You should have been a ruckman. You've missed your calling, I think, mate.
But we just saw there too, Neil Danaher in this last quarter moves Woden on the Hurdy, and Hurdy puts on a bit of a clinic in this last quarter.
I suppose from Neil Danaher's point of view, he's wanting to make sure that the guys work through the game, and as he said before, make sure you do everything you can to keep and earn the respect of the opposition.
So much trouble early when the pressure was on with these kickouts, didn't they, the Demons? Just couldn't find a way. Phoebe to Niggles, some good mark at the back. Quickly plays on, puts Powell under pressure.
It's hard when it's 10 goals down when you're the opposition. Sometimes things just don't go your way. The handballs, the marks, and then all of a sudden it turns over, and that's a result.
And Joey summed it up at the start of the game about their kick-ins. I didn't recall it like Joe did, but they couldn't get it out, and so like good teams do, and then punish you on the way back, and that's just a beautiful disposal from Heffernan, and Longy just worked hard from the other side of the ground. But much for the day, we didn't punish them like we should have, and this was another miss there from Longy.
I suppose that was the beauty of Longy. He was super tough. He probably, when he started his career, was super fast. And then as he went through his career, he became super tough and very strong. And then towards the end of the career, he became super creative. And he was fantastic for us.
Runners around their tall players. They've generally been one out.
It's Phoebe this time. White's going to have to...
Same kick each time they're going for.
Yeah, they used to be so good at just chipping and picking players off, or Melbourne players just in the corridor inside 50 all year, but we really stifled them that game.
And there's once again
more pressure that causes a turnover.
Just the numbers, blokes are queuing up now, and this is Paul Barnard, probably the greatest moment of his career, kicking his 4th goal in a grand final, and you could just see the enjoyment for everyone around Paul, because as I said, he's being cut from Hawthorn, part of the Paul Salmon trade, and it's just his finest moment in footy.
Well, he really got us going, didn't he, Barney? He's 4 goals in the grand final, as you said, didn't come onto it probably halfway through the second quarter, late in the first quarter, so it was a sensational effort.
And it's good to see some of the cutaway shots of the crowd there. That they know that the game's in the bag, and it'd be great from their point of view. The biggest game of the year, the grand final, and for Bomber fans to actually enjoy that last quarter.
They're just so hard to win. There was 7 years between '93, which Joey played in, and this one, and obviously it's been 10 years and hasn't been one since. And Darren Buick, we saw Heffernan's pass there, and Darren Buick was also a beautiful kick of the footy.
What a bad grab, Lloyd. I just sticky fingers.
Yeah. But,
now, Lloyd, he's surely 10 goals up. You don't have to go through your routine now. No? You know, there's no. If you miss the goal, you don't have to worry about that. You're not going to throw. Surely, you're not going to throw the grass up, and you are. You are or not?
I'll still do it. There wasn't a time to stop it now.
You throw the grass again.
Yeah, and
why would you?
It works for me. Watch this kick. It works for me. That's why. Watch. No, I won't. It didn't work for. What's this, Seth?
There we go.
Just the wind just grabbed it.
Yeah.
I reckon you leaned back a bit too much. Leaned back.
Bad ball drop.
Well, can I ask you, did you actually take notice of what the grass was doing when you threw it in the air?
Got the young David Hill. No, I don't actually. Young David Hill and Shawnee Denham in the crowd. Hilly was a great pickup. I think that year we picked 40 in the draft. He's been a great player for Essendon.
He was an ex-volleyballer, great athlete, great runner, great leap.
It's just Juzzy just jumping up again and over the pack to take another big strong mark.
Now, probably at this stage of the game, the people who vote on the Norm Smith medal would have been starting to consider who their candidates for the Norm Smith were. And up to this stage, who do you reckon was in the running for it?
Oh, he obviously, I reckon Hurdy might win it, mate, this game. But you had till Blumfield, Caracella. Even just watching this game even closer, Longy was a little bit of a show, but we had so many good players. As you said, Solomon started off so well, so there was a lot of players that were vying for it.
And this is where you start to get some enjoyment, Sess. 5 minutes gone, they're not really making a move.
Inside out there in the forward line, Long and co. And eventually it's just taken over the line and behind conceded by Uze.
They're getting so much of the ball now, the Bombers. There's a natural tendency when you get this.
Yeah, we really were lucky that year. We had a strong team and really enjoyed our football, and there was a lot of good players around the club. And as I mentioned a few before, who didn't get a game. There was one who is getting a game this year and is doing a great job in another fantastic team. Is James Podsiadly, actually a rookie on the Essendon list back in 2000. So it's been a long time between drinks for him.
Oh, he's been just an amazing story. I suppose in hindsight it's a wonderful thing. There's probably 16 clubs wondering why they didn't play him earlier. But this is another bloke, gets to cash in, hasn't had a great run, but he was just, so many guys played important roles for us. He was nasty, he was aggressive, fantastic tackler, and very skillful player too, whether it was by his marking capacity or his foot skills. And he kicked bags of 5 and 6 in games of footy, and it was great to see him get some reward in the last quarter.
And as Barney, he was very effective. So at this stage, Paul Barnard will be in the running for Norm Smith, Blake Caracella. I know I heard he ultimately won it, but we certainly had a number of guys who put their hand up.
They're all going to have something to talk about tonight, aren't they? They're all chipping in left, right and centre, these great Essendon players.
And the margin's up to 72 points already, Bruce.
The record is 96. Jason and Dipper's team belted the Demons in 1988. Fletcher to Wellman.
So Powell and White combination, but didn't really take advantage out the back line there.
With that, 3 guys running out of the back line. Super confident.
Hurdy's just ducked out from the centre bounce.
Mark McCurry, contest.
The frustration there, but that's just the end. We lost that a few years afterwards when we weren't as strong as team. Just lost that antagonistic style of play once Hardwick went to Port Adelaide. Wally retired, but
Solomon as well.
Yeah, Solly just continually playing in front. Oh, this is it. This is Brent Gergic throws a big haymaker at Fletcher Street. So that's that rivalry I was talking about, where they went at it, those two, consistently over their time.
How did Fletch miss with those long arms? Mate? Never miss anyone.
And John Barnes had a really good game, plenty of possession around the ground. Certainly played a significant role in the day.
Shows the ball kicking into a bit of a breeze in this last quarter. Just footy holding up, but they just cannot. We look at Geelong, and they consistently hold teams to around the 68-point mark, and you can just see we're doing similar with just the 56 points given away.
Going over the top.
Official attendance, by the way, is 96,249.
Had no structure. They had no clean ball through the middle, which I think too, because we didn't let them come through the centre that often. Every time they were coming into the forward line, it was one-dimensional because you're either coming on left-hand side of the ground or the right-hand side of the ground.
The one thing I think of as I watch this Cess is just that this side only won 1 premiership, and that's probably one of the big regrets, as good as this day was, that we didn't, this team, get a couple. Was 99 the year, more so than 01 that you thought was the one that got away?
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right there. You mentioned at the start where this premiership was set up the year before, set up by that preliminary final loss in the meetings we had afterwards. I think 2000 was the result of that. And then 2001, we were still there, we were still competitive, but we're probably that year or two older. And we went into the game with a lot of injuries. A lot of guys were probably underdone, but really it should have been 99 and 2000, and have a real red hot crack for 2001, which we did in the end, but weren't able to get there.
Still the centre bounces, Joey.
Still going on. It's probably one of the first ones that Johnny did win, but I think probably about quarter time onwards, we just pretty much rove to Jeff White. Johnny couldn't get his timing, and as I've said before, we just said to Johnny, just hit his arms and we'll get in close and try and get in nice and close.
Now, going to ground, Lloydie, was there any need to go to ground there?
No, the ball was fading away, but I had a great relationship with Hurdy. That was a bit of a tumbling kick there, but I always felt that he was one player who directed me where to lead when he had the footy in his hands, and I really looked up to him in the way he really helped me with my footy. And you had your moment you spoke of with Darren Buick. Yep. After this, I was fortunate enough to kick this goal and had a moment with Hurdy where it was my first time where I sort of let myself go and thought we've won this premiership
really
here,
relaxed,
which was really exciting to kick a goal in the fourth quarter of a winning grand final.
There you go.
We enjoyed it here, this one, and Joey as well. So
we're pretty excited, weren't you, mate?
Yeah.
So I think Hurdy realised it's probably the first time that he relaxed and enjoyed it as well.
For him also, you obviously the team, but individually. Look at the pressure though, Wellman, just leaving his man, and that's something that stood out to me today more so than ever before, just how much pressure the backline did, not only in the defensive 50, but also across the centre of the ground.
You spoke about Hurdy kicking and directing the ball. Do you think the quality players are the ones who actually can dictate where you lead and are able to hit you more often than not?
Yeah, I had a great relationship with Joe as well, just knowing where to put the ball, putting it out in front, and Joey, Hurdy, and also Dean Rioli was another one, and Mark McCurry was also very good, and then Longy. So that's the thing, that so many smart footballers, which made us far superior to even this Melbourne side. You could just see It's so many sort of smarter footballers in just that nous, which made us sort of the most dominant side, and I think it was what could have been. I think with this group of players. But,
isn't that a bad game?
Yeah.
Powell, is he? Probably going to kick his third, and not a bad mark.
Yeah, he fought hard all day. He was a hard nut, and you could see that he wanted to make sure he finished the day on a good note.
He was at the Western Bulldogs a lot of their down times where they should have got to grand finals, so he was unfortunate. So many players, good players, miss out on. They're so hard to win.
Well, you say that maybe we missed out on one or two, Lloyd, but as you just said, mate, they're very, very hard to win, and you can go around and see all these great players that hardly play in a finals game, let alone winning the flag.
Billy Brownless and those guys played in 4. Yeah, Gary Ablett, 4 losing grand finals.
Well, Bobby Skilton didn't play in a final, I think. I think that's right, but maybe one final. But
he had 3 Brownlows to his name and that type of thing. Yeah, it's not just what is it? It's not just having the best team. It's you need a lot of luck going with you during the year as well.
Jeff Hugel there, the Kieran Perkins.
Kieran Perkins.
Never have thought they were in the crowd that day.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Sydney Olympics was this season was actually this one. I'm still skipping over this one.
Yeah, what happened there, mate?
Hayden Kennedy trying to say it was touched off the boot. So
is that right?
Robbed me of another one.
You're dirty on that.
Yeah,
it's 10 years later. I'm just saying, it's 10 years, still dirty on that one.
I knew the umpire.
Yeah, geez.
School teacher.
Yeah, he was at
teacher,
St.
mate?
Bernard's.
When you bump into him now, do you still give him a bit of curry about that one? Say, Hayden, what about the grand
It's the
final?
first thing he says. It's not a hello. It's just why wasn't it a mark? Should have been a mark.
Yeah, mate, it's time to let it go. We're 10 years old. It's time to let it go. There you go. Well, this game was actually not played on the last Saturday in September in 2000.
No, good point, Seth.
Yeah.
What date was it played on there?
It was played on Saturday. No, it was earlier in September. I think it was the first week of September.
So.
First week of September, if I recall correctly. So to make way for the 2000 Olympics.
Paul Barner.
He's put on a clinic, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd be up there for my Norm Smith at the moment.
He did play well, didn't he? I thought he just kicked the 4 goals and only got a few kicks, but he's been pretty dominant.
No, he had a great game. There's Joe. What are you going to do, Joe?
I probably should have kicked the torp and kicked the goal.
You were lining up for goal there, weren't you?
I was exhausted.
You were
stage
80 metres out, and you actually thought about kicking for goal then.
I was just thinking how good's the next couple of days going to be celebrating with the boys then. So I wasn't too fussed where I was going to go.
Who were some of the better guys, Joey?
There was a few. I remember staying with Wally for a fair period. There was a couple of us that went right through it all about Monday or Tuesday with no sleep. And because you're on such a high, you just don't want to sleep. You just want to be spending time with your mates and. 21 of your mates that you sacrificed the whole year for, and it was just a great way to unwind and, celebrate, have a few beers, but just really take it in.
When we start thinking about those things now, some of the enjoyment that we're going to have over the next few days, and the game's still going on. But Dean Wallace, I remember we went to Ibiza in Spain for this footy trip, and Wally didn't take any other clothes that was other than the ones that were on his back, so the jeans and the shirt. So you knew he was home. Whether his shirt was hanging over the balcony railing that trip. So he'd jump in the shower at the end of the night with his clothes on and air them out all day.
That certainly was an enjoyable footy trip. What about you talked about the feeling of, in terms of the win. What about the next day, coming back to the club and having all the thousands and thousands of supporters up there and, being able to share that victory with them back at Windy Hill. So it was,
I remember,
it was fantastic.
I remember a couple of things, especially that day, the Sunday when we had to meet here. I think it was for 10 or 11 o'clock, and I don't know what happened. I ended up with Jason Johnson just down at the Royal, just getting some breakfast, and I can remember just walking up Napier Street from the Royal up to the footy club, and people just couldn't fathom that Jason Johnson and I were just walking up with the supporters up to the ground for the big family day, and I was pretty happy. We just had a nice breakfast and lined the stomach again, and it was a great little walk.
I also loved the function. Can't recall where it was at the convention centre afterwards, and the crowd. There would have been 10, 15,000 people, and you just felt bulletproof for a day or two. But
well, the things that don't come along, they're once in a lifetime things, and I think the euphoria that surrounds the day, as we said before, the preparation that goes into it from a playing perspective, and also from the supporters. they go in, they go watch the game, week in and week out, and for them it's probably a long time coming as well. So they get to enjoy it.
And one of the best things too, boys, was, I remember, I'm not too sure where it was, but when Hurdy stood, I reckon it might have been the first quarter of the year or around 7 or 8, where he said, that's it, we're not going to sing the theme song anymore. The only time we're going to sing the theme song again this year is the last day in September, or sorry, the first Saturday in September, Seth, but on grand final day if we won it, so I don't think we sung the theme song for about 10 or 12 weeks.
Yeah, that was, I think it was about the case, about halfway through the year where we sort of made that pact that, we're having a good year. I think we're still undefeated at that stage, and that we said, we're not going to do it until we win the grand final.
And what about when we sang it around the centre circle with a cup in the middle of the ground? And I remember Gary Moorcroft pulling out photographers saying, no, this is our moment to sing this song.
Yeah, after the game.
After
the game, certainly. And that after the game was a fantastic time because you got to enjoy it, and you got to see all the people who were part of the club and part of the 2000 Premiership team there on the ground on the day. It was fantastic.
No doubt this was Jeff Farmer's the best season he ever had, and it's sort of getting into the mid-70s now, but I must admit the backman had it over him all day. As I said, it was more one-on-one footy and just played in front consistently and created so much off half-back. Sort of 5 minutes to go in a grand final. But Ford just double the scoring shots.
Yeah, and that was a trademark of the way we went about our football in 2000 was we were relentless, and we tried to be relentless the whole game, from minute 1 to the final siren. And there's Barnesy coming off and having a rest.
And people forget how dominant we were in the final series. In the first final we beat North by 130 points or something, wasn't it? And Carlton by 8 or 9 goals in the prelim. And to win the grand final by 10 goals. So, we've won in total by about 40 goals in our 3 finals games.
I remember that first final, I was a bit nervous because we'd lost to the Bulldogs and we just were getting over the line, but Joey played a ripper that day against North, but we slightly exploded. We were waiting for 5 games clear. Not sure how many Geelong's ever been clear in front, but I wouldn't have thought it was 5.
But you're just thinking, just the last few games, we were never going to lose top spot. I think people were just trying to just nurse their way through. Let's not get injured. And as soon as the finals come, as you said, she was. But I think that was, go back on Johnny Quinn too. I don't remember, it was about 3 or 4 weeks out, and this is, I think, one of the first time it happened. He trained us really, really hard about 3 or 4 weeks out and said, this won't benefit you until, round 1 of the finals. And he was right. I remember playing 2 or 3 games in a row where I was knackered just from the hard training during the week. And first final come, he just felt like you had a new lease on life because he trained us hard for 4 weeks, then backed us off for 2, and then she was on.
I thought Johnny Quinn was sort of, in 2000, you were still at a stage where you could get an advantage on other teams, whereas nowadays everyone else is so fit. See the happiness there from Dick Reynolds as Joey saw him in the crowd earlier. He was as proud as anyone, but I thought John took us to a level that maybe other clubs weren't at. And he was, as I said, a real motivator. But 3 or 4 minutes here to savour. Good answer, SS.
Jeez, how about that, eh?
Give off to the runners and Hurdy.
You're going for the cameras.
Just read that. Yeah, it was. This stage of the game is certainly a good one where you can sort of maybe a little bit of showtime, Lloydie. You can sort of do a few things, tap them on, take on a few blokes. Hit the ball around, share it round a bit, and really enjoy the game when you're this far in front. You don't get that luxury often in a game, and certainly you don't get that luxury often in a grand final.
He has waited. And as Kevin Sheedy said many times, he thought he did the right thing, and I must admit, so did I. I mean, you go for it.
Alessio towards Lucas, good grab.
That was Darren Buick. That was when you can see him hovering around in the back line. I think that's when we were able to have a bit of a joke, and Scotty Lucas taking a great contested mark.
He had a great work rate too, Scott Lucas, in his whole career, and as I said, there's that kick that just puts teams under pressure.
Into the hot spot there.
Well, you can see where they're enjoying it now when Solly's ran down from the back pocket to try and get a shot on goal.
And to Melbourne's credit, you can still see them, fighting hard, not wanting to let it blow out to a 100-point margin, and they've sort of kept it to about the 3/4 time margin there.
Good last quarter, big fella.
Well, you'd hope so. I didn't get a touch the rest of the game, so no, it was good to get out there. Certainly enjoying me football. There.
Don't tell me, Joe, you're looking to have a shot from 80.
Yeah, well, should have. I've had,
Joe, was this flashbacks of 93 on the boundary? This is what it is,
a bit
isn't it?
older there. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to pretend I'm going to pass it, but I knew as soon as I marked it, I was going to try and line up
80 metres out.
Try a big barrel here.
Oh, please. Unbelievable.
Didn't get onto it.
It
was a vicious window. And
there you go. And set Lloyd up.
I just wanted to get a big knees back in the last minute of a half of the grand final.
I reckon Joey was hoping the siren would go and he could be the man to hold the ball up.
I didn't think of that, but I might use that.
It's a good one, isn't it? Jeez, 80 metres out.
Only about 75, I reckon.
Almost. He's done a couple of specky things. Neat hooks it back and misses. He's had a few shots. He's had 5 shots for goal, Neats. Probably 6-1 when he didn't score, and he's kicked 2-3.
This wasn't Neat's day.
Put a few behinds, hasn't he?
And we've all had them those days where nothing goes right for you, and you still have a crack no matter what you do. It doesn't work out, so you can sort of feel for the boys. But you can see the box, they're probably still there. They're all getting ready. They know.
Just saw another bloke there who's also an assistant, Peter Burbakov, who's up the back there, was on our list, and he's another guy who's been under Paul Roos for 4 or 5 years at Sydney.
Yeah, one of the effective assistant coaches at Sydney. And there's another guy up the back there, Blair Hartley, who was just an assistant recruiter now, has gone on to be national recruiting manager of Port Adelaide, now Richmond. So
it's amazing what successful sides do and the opportunities it creates.
Here we go. I think we'd be getting close, aren't we? We're surely being close.
We'll be going through the old fella's mind now, just walking to the race. He's pretty proud, pretty excited.
You'd have to be enjoying that as a coach, wouldn't it? Walking down the steps.
He was a fatherly figure, Sheeds. Like, he made you feel bulletproof as a player, and just the enjoyment there. He's Essendon through and through, and Mark Harvey, Robert Shaw, Terry Danaher. You just couldn't think of greater Essendon people than those guys. So they enjoyed it as much as us, the players.
The thing with Sheeds was he was, not many people would know this, but he was a super positive coach. And he can, as much as he's pretty hard and tough at times, but he's always super positive. So he would have got a lot of enjoyment out of that. Lloydie, just there having a contest at the end.
Just fell short on me, that one, but there's sort of one more bounce and we're ready to celebrate.
Yeah, by this time you can see he's starting to get excited about the final siren come along. There we go. There we go, Sheeds. Super happy. Matty Drain, our footy manager that year, super happy.
He was a great operator, Matty Drain. And this is what you play footy for, isn't it, Joe? Just the exhilaration. Look at these two best mates finally playing a premiership.
Yeah, for sure. Oh, it's just great. Look at the celebration. It's just so much hard work. People don't realise it doesn't just start, round 1. It starts at October the year before when you start pre-season. Put all the hard yards in, and this is it. This is the pinnacle. You don't get better feeling than this, and other than giving birth to, not giving birth myself, but your birth to your kids. It's the best moment of your life.
And then you've always got those stories of the players who just miss out as well, and how hard it is for them. There's always that flip side, but they were there as part of it, and the reason why we got there was because everyone pulled together. There we go, Dean Wallace and John Barnes. Have a look how emotional they are. I don't think they could talk at this stage.
That's why you play footy, mate, stuff like this.
Yeah, well done, mate. Go enjoy it. Just a true emotion there, Bruce, isn't there?
Let's go down the plugger.
Yeah, Paul Barnard there. Come off the bench and kick 4 goals. What a great feeling, mate.
It's the best feeling ever, plugger. I mean, worked pretty hard for it all year.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of challenges thrown at us this year, but for the boys' credit, we stood up and pretty proud at the moment.
Oh, mate, it was a great game. Get in there and enjoy it, mate. Well done.
Just saw a great moment with Dick Reynolds, and you're seeing it now. Dick Reynolds and Kevin Sheedy. Here's James here with Hutto.
Thanks, Bruce. James, sensational. It's one of the happiest moments of my life. I don't know how to describe it. It's just great, and the boys played so well, and I can't say much more, mate. At times when you must have doubted you'd ever get here again. Probably, yeah, but there's always a belief that we'd get here and win it, and you know, this is much better than last time. This is the best football moment I've ever had in my life. Just so we go the same way, Wade, and off you go, mate.
Well, some legends around there, aren't they, with Lou Richards, Dick Reynolds and Ron Barassi. And Kevin Sheedy, who so bravely, I think, last year stood there and waited for his players after the prelim final. Haven't sung it for a while, have they?
My feelings at the final siren was a mixture of feelings. One was relief, one was elation, and then excitement. The relief came down to just what happened in '99, just that heartbreaking loss to Carlton.
Well, they made a pact, didn't they? They'd not be sung during the finals until they finished their journey.
And they may sing it more than once today.
For Neil Danaher, he's real friendship there, just a consoling word.
The master and the apprentice.
Obviously there's the jubilation at having worked for something for so long, having put in all the effort over 10 years, I think it was at that stage for me, 10 years, pre-seasons, injury, which I had a fair bit of during my career, and it's the ultimate goal you work towards, and the fact that it took 10 years for it to pay off, indescribable. It's a feeling of jubilation, elation, but more so for me, it was to finally share the ultimate success with guys that I grew up with, guys that I came through football with. So we're talking about your Joe Misitis, your Mark McCurries, your Dustin Fletchers, those guys who came through as the baby bombers, and basically that was a great feeling.
Well, Sheedy's first game as a coach in a grand final wasn't so good in 1983 either, when Hawthorn belted the Bombers. So you've got to live and learn a bit, don't you?
Oh, do you ever? It tests and it tests again.
And it does, particularly Malcolm, now that they sit out there and they stay and they wait for the presentation. They don't just leave the field straight away. You actually have to sit there, you work out, this is really what we're missing. I mean, that hurts. That really cuts to the chase, doesn't it?
There's a Melbourne hierarchy. Tipper again.
Yeah, Bruce, I got Mark McCurry, and Mark, what a magnificent season for you. Very emotional one as well, but you finally got this flag.
Yeah, no, it's been excellent. Everyone's been going in the one direction, and commiserations to Melbourne. But yeah, I mean, we were that focused this year, but it's just a great thrill.
And a great rap there for Barnesy, like he's had 3 losses, come back to the club. It's just, it's overjoyed there.
Yeah, no, he's in tears, Barnesy, so I'm sure we'll have a few drinks tonight.
Good on you, Mark. Well done, mate.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, just before we make our grand final presentations, it's appropriate that today we make the presentation of the Coleman Medal, awarded to the player, of course, who kicked the most goals during the home and away season. To present the medal, please welcome back to the MCG a man who won the Coleman Medal on 4 occasions. I'm going to ask the greatest goal kicker in the game, Tony Lockett, to present the Coleman Medal to Matthew Lloyd of Essendon. Congratulations, Matty. Well done, mate. Just say a quick word.
Can I just say first to Melbourne, thanks for a great game. But to the Essendon boys, we've worked so hard for this. I reckon it's been 2 years of hard work and we've finally got here. But most of all, to all the supporters, you've been fantastic. Been here all year and love you for it. And to my parents, Brad, Simon, Coley, Lisa and Mary, I owe it to you. Thanks a lot.
I had a lifelong dream. I idolised Bernie Quinlan, and I never thought it'd be realistic for me to kick 100 goals, but as the season rolled on, it got closer and closer, and to do it in a final where we won by 20 goals, it was just my greatest individual moment, celebrating that with my teammates.
Matthew Lloyd, Coleman medalist. And thank you, Plugger. Ladies and gentlemen, would you welcome former Collingwood champion and Hall of Fame member Lou Richards to present the Norm Smith Medal to the player adjudged best of field in the 2000 Coca-Cola Grand Final. And the winner of the Norm Smith Medal in today's match is James Hird of Essendon.
James is a fantastic leader. He leads from the front. He does what he has to do week in, week out. When something has to be done, a ball has to be won, a goal has to be kicked. Erdy's always there. He's a super player, a super man, and super guy, and yeah, he's an inspirational leader.
Just quickly, thank you to the supporters. You have been fantastic. Thank you to my teammates. You're the best bunch of blokes you could ever meet. And to my wife, Tanya, and my little baby, Stephanie. This is for you guys. Thank you.
James Hird, the Norton Smith medalist. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Hall of Fame legend and a man who is no stranger to the Premiership dais, Ronald Dale Barassi, who'll be joined with Lou to present the medallions. Lou, come back, please, we need you. We're going to present the medallions to the Essendon Football Club, the premiers for season 2000. Beginning with number 1, Mark Johnson.
And then our back line was just rock solid for most of that season. So intimidating, Hardwick, Solomon, Dean Wallace, geez, they were tough. And Mark Johnson did a great job on Jeff Farmer in that grand final.
Number 2, Mark Mercury. Number 6, Sean Wellman. Number 7, Dean Solomon. Number 8, Darren Buick.
It was a great moment. In football, you don't get too many times to share quality moments during a game that aren't from a performance point of view. And towards the end of the game, we're lucky enough to be a fair way in front. And both Darren Buick and I, who basically played all our careers together at Essendon, got an opportunity, sort of coming off the bench as a fair couple of rotations at the end, coming into the game and knowing, we'd won this and we were still playing the game. So it wasn't that tension that you might have when you're in a grand final, and basically having a bit of a laugh together and looking at each other and saying, let's go out and enjoy this last 5 or 10 minutes of the game. And basically went out there and I think we managed to pass the ball to each other a couple of times and have a laugh, but really soak up what the atmosphere was and really enjoy the grand final and the atmosphere and sharing it with the other guys on the field.
Number 9, Adam Ramanaskos. Number 11, Damien Hardwick. Number 13, Michael Wong. Number 14, Jason Johnson. Number 16, Paul Barnard.
Paul Barnard, probably the greatest game he ever played for Essendon Footy Club, or was in a grand final. So to come off the bench and contribute like he did was enormous.
Number 18, Matthew Lloyd.
Yeah, the moments and the feelings after the final siren of 2000 was one of relief in that it was a must-win game because of we'd won all bar one game of the season. Also that the disappointments of the year before, but I'll never forget looking across to James Hird 5 minutes to go in that last quarter and thinking we've finally done it. He was going to be a Premiership captain, second Premiership. I was going to be a Premiership player for the first time, and I never relived a moment like it or a greater feeling on the football field.
Number 21, Dean Wallace. Number 22, John Barnes. Number 24, Joe Misiti.
I always thought, yeah, we're up there getting the medal. It was the second one of my career, and I'm thinking, yeah, well, after playing in this super side, we should probably get another one or two. But saying that, they're hard to win, and they're very, very hard to get to. So very happy that I got my second one and in my career.
25, Scotty Lucas. Number 26, Chris Heffernan. Number 27, Stephen Alessio.
93 was a hard time in terms of missing a premiership, missing the opportunity to play in a grand final and get that ultimate success. You don't know, they're hard enough to win as it is, and you don't know whether or not you'll get another opportunity. It took another 7 years for me to get a look in and get the opportunity to play. So from that perspective, missing out on being able to share the success with guys you come through the under-19s and reserves with, especially Joe Misiti, Mark McCura, good mates of mine, was hard. So then to be able to get that opportunity in 2000 and achieve that success was great.
Number 29, Gary Moorcroft. Number 31, Dustin Fletcher. Number 32, Justin Blumfield.
The grand final day, heard he was the dominant player, but I felt that up until three-quarter time, you could have definitely argued that Justin Blumfield was about to win a Norm Smith medal.
Number 33, Blake Caracella. Ladies and gentlemen, the coach of the Essendon Football Club, Kevin Sheedy. Ladies and gentlemen, we stay up here with Kevin, and I'll ask Ronald Dale Barassi to take hold of the 2000 Coca-Cola AFL Premiership Cup as I call upon the captain of the Essendon Football Club to join us, number 5, James Hurd.
Thanks, ladies and gentlemen, all the fans that have followed footy all of your lives. I can assure you that this team has deserved the premiership. I've got no doubt about that. To all you Bomber fans, thanks for your loyal support, and to all the parents that produce our footballers all around Australia, thank you very much for looking after the game. Thanks a lot.
Ready?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes the official presentation. After the photographs have been taken, we'll invite the Essendon Football Club, the premiers in season 2000, to do a lap of honour of the MCG.
I was just saying, it was a great day for Essendon supporters. We've waited since '93, and you seem to forget that Essendon's a very, very successful club. That we expect premierships, at least one or two every 10 years. So to get that, the crowd was amazing. They could really enjoy it probably after three-quarter time when they knew the game was well and truly in our keepings, and it was great running that lap after the game and seeing all the joy in the supporters' eyes and their faces.
With James Hurd the cup, it's a Hollywood story, isn't it? It's a fairy tale. 12 months ago, his stocks were low. He only played 2 games last year. We thought we might have seen certainly the end of the best of him, but he has come back and won the Norm Smith medal today in resounding fashion. They almost did the impossible, this team. Go through a season unbeaten. They got so close.
Well, that was the only thing that escaped them this year. It's just been an incredible season. I mean, everything that's been thrown at them, they've coped with, and they've done it with style. And quite fitting that there was a fair margin, I think, between the two teams, because there's been a fair margin between the Bombers and everybody else this year.
Yeah, I think Melbourne was the right team to play them today. They were the best second team in terms of form. They won 10 out of their last 11. Probably stiffened the match they lost, and yet today they were outclassed.
They were disappointing today, Melbourne, I think. That certainly wasn't their best performance, but they'll learn from that. They'll take something out of this game, and they'll figure they can go a little bit better next year.
After the game, Kevin Sheedy got us into a room, just the normal coach's room, and actually spoke to us about, you're going to go out and you'll be getting slapped on the back, and it's not. This is the one time we can share with each other, and it was just elation. It's rare that you can have a beer in the room after a game, and I'll also won't forget standing in the circle afterwards, around the with the cup in the middle, pushing out all the cameramen, all the photographers, and singing the club song in the middle of the MCG. That we'd finally done what's so hard to do, and that's win a grand final, and still gives me goosebumps thinking of it today.
And Scotty Lucas with him, but for Darren, what a bittersweet moment, a great moment for him. Scotty Lucas, who didn't have his greatest day, but he's going to have his great night tonight. But Buick and Mark Johnson, who came back. We saw Judy Moorcroft at the start of the game, Gary, whose dad passed away. And Judy talked about his dad looking down today with Gary. And there's James here with Tanya and Stephanie. I'm sure Tanya is right now, and James remembered them when he got the Norm Smith.
Well, James has gone from tears of frustration to tears of joy, hasn't he? I mean, look, it's a roller coaster ride of emotions, and the family share it with you. They all go through it. They see you when you come home disappointed, when you come home angry, and they share the joy as well. And this is a special moment for them.
Yeah, his darling little daughter there, Stephanie, with him. But James Hird and Kevin Sheedy, who symbolically, I think, means so much to the Bombers, and Sheeds with his 4th premiership. And there's Darren Buick, who's really lapping it up at the moment, and why shouldn't he? And the Bomber fans, well, it was tough for them last year, but they've had everything to wish for this year, and everything has come true.
Boys, it's enjoyable, wasn't it? Reminiscing, and a 60-point victory where it was a conquering year, and we sort of broke many records, so look forward to seeing you on the reunion night.
Oh, certainly. 2000, fantastic year. Never would have dreamt it, but certainly enjoyed it, and fantastic memories now.
Yeah, it's just great just to go over it again. Usually I only watch it, from at home by myself, but to actually go over it and watch it with a few of the boys I've played with was great fun. The last few hours with you two boys. Thanks a lot.
So Bomber fans, Joey, Sess and I really enjoyed the last couple of hours, and we hope you enjoyed it as much as we did.